Welcome to Fitchburg State University, where there's a special excitement in the air. It's homecoming weekend. Students, parents, alum all gather together as we hit the gridiron for some Fitchburg State football. Last time we saw Fitchburg, they opened up a solid first drive against Worcester State, leading to the first score of the game. But again, turnovers were a factor for the Falcons, and Worcester State took advantage with 3 quick touchdowns. Led by running backs Solomon and Tom McKetty, the Falcons would turn things around with a strong rushing attack.
He'll get the carry, burst through the line, to the end zone. And he'll get the handoff, looking to his right. He's got plenty of room in front of him. He's into Lancer territory, across the, he'll get the carry. He runs to his right. He's got a great block. He's got a touchdown.
The Falcons would fall just short in the red zone, though, followed by a 45-15 loss against Bridgewater State. Still trying to figure out their rhythm mid-season, Fitchburg State will play host to Maritime today. After a hard-fought 24-17 win for the Falcons against Maritime a year ago, Maritime sails into Fitchburg looking for some revenge. With a full homecoming crowd at Elliott Field, this task won't be easy.
It's a fumble. And the Falcons have left. He will keep it himself. Runs to the right. He's got one man to beat. He does. Turns the corner.
The Falcons are back for yet another college football Saturday. The Falcons dig in. The focus is clear. A win's a must. Long-time conference matchup, Maritime, and the soaring Falcons take the field. Kickoff is set. It's the Maritime Bucks taking on your Fitchburg State Falcons here on FA TV.
It is indeed homecoming day here at Elliott Field, and that means there are plenty of festivities on hand. For those of you joining us in Fitchburg, we absolutely encourage you to come on down to Elliott Field and check out the festivities of homecoming. And in order to help further entice you to come on down, let's send it down right away to Amanda Agassi, who has a preview of all the homecoming events.
Hello everyone and happy homecoming. I swear this time of year comes so fast, but we're really excited to be here at the beautiful Elliott Field. It's perfect weather and this seems to happen almost every homecoming. Sun was just out, but I think it's trying to peep right through. It's a high of 69 degrees here today. And if you're coming here with friends, family, alumni, come on an empty stomach. You heard it from me first because there is so much to eat here. It's kind of ridiculous. But of course, let me just take you guys through. So right over here, we have the alumni end zone. So this is basically for anyone who's 21 plus, come through, have a beer, and they also have big screen TVs in there so you can watch the game live as well. Right behind me, we have the hot dogs being sold by the women's lacrosse team. And if you come buy a hot dog for $2, you're actually going to help them fundraise to go to Florida. Right in the back, we have the Boston Burger Company. So they basically are located in Somerville and Harvard Square. And I went back there and it smelled so good. They have burgers, fries, and wings. Now, if you come back for halftime, you'll see there'll possibly be a wing eating contest. So don't miss that. Right next to them, you have the Third Alarm Wood Fire Pizza. They're the Revere firefighters are the ones who are serving the pizzas. It's their company. They have a bunch of different pizza choices today, from cheese, pepperoni, and caprese, which is actually one of my favorites, so I'm definitely gonna have to go back there. And if you keep going, we have Italian ice being served by the Sigma Tau Delta fraternity, who's actually trying to fundraise for their English convention that they're going to in St. Louis in March. And of course, we have the regular concession stands in the back with chips, candy bar, soda. There's a lot going back here. Bookstores here. They're selling basically everything from your sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, water bottles. The list goes on and on. It's homecoming weekend. Come down here. Come watch some football. Back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Amanda Agassi, and the Italian in me was very happy to hear the caprese. The caprese, Dan. We bring in Danny Bolak today because in addition to the homecoming festivities and all of the events and all of the food, oh my God, the food, it sounds so good. We also have the matter of a football game, Dan, and today the Falcons will be taking on the Buccaneers of the Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Absolutely, John. The Falcons coming to this game 0-4, 0-2 in the MASCAC. Last week, 8 days ago, they were at Bridgewater State for some Friday night football. Didn't go well for the Falcons. They lost 42-15. Not a whole lot of good to take away from that contest, so the Falcons will be looking to bounce back against Mass Maritime. And let me tell you, John, this is a battle that could help determine the outcome of the Wooden Spoon this year, the team that comes last, because Maritime was picked to come 8th in the conference. The Falcons picked to come 9th. And Maritime, they hold the Wooden Spoon. They won it last year. They went 1-7 in the conference, 2-8 overall, only got a win in their final conference game against Bridgewater. And as for Maritime this year, 1-2, 0-1 in the conference. They're coming off a loss to Framingham, lost 28-13. A very close game, all things considered, considering Framingham's picked to win the conference. So for the Buccaneers to only lose by 15 points, they were right in it till the end for the most part.
I mean, it's difficult to say you can take anything positive away from losing a game by 15 points, but against a powerhouse school like Framingham State, just holding your own is a step in the right direction for these Buccaneers. And before that, Dan, they actually scored their first and only win of the season thus far, a 22-7 victory over the Maine Maritime Academy in non-conference play.
Absolutely, to retain the Admiral's Cup against the Maine Maritime Mariners, former conference foe of the Falcons back when they were in the NEFC.
And you can see the Mass Maritime boys over there. They'll be wearing the white jerseys with gold numbering because, you know, they just don't consider television when they created their jerseys, I guess.
I know I was talking with one of the assistants. He says it is a pain to scout, but of course that's probably part of the point of doing that after all.
Of course.
They're not thinking
it's deception.
They're not thinking of the announcers who have to call the game. They're thinking of the coaches that have to pull their hair out in frustration.
Well, gosh darn it, if FATV shills out $150 million a year to each one of these schools for the rights to telecast these games, we don't actually do that, by the way. We don't do that. But if they did, they would have to put numbers on their shoulders.
At the very least.
Very least.
And make those numbers a navy blue and not an old gold. But Mass Maritime, as we said, 1-2. Their run defense has been pretty solid, holding opponents to just 85 yards a game. They held Framingham to just 91 yards. They held Maine Maritime to -26.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. The Falcons' rushing offense is the best in the MASCAC coming into today, 246 yards a game. The Falcons, of course, have 3 capable running backs in Jacquay Sullivan, Sterling Garvin, and Chris Tamaketti. Brandon Brown can run the ball as well. He had some injury issues last week against Bridgewater. We think he's fit to play today.
And on the matter of injury issues, of course, Sterling Garvin battling a left leg injury. I believe he did return for the Falcons' last game, which was a loss on the road against Bridgewater State, and he is listed as active on the depth chart today. So we should see plenty of number 1 in addition to the Falcons' already potent running.
If there is a challenge, there is one huge injury to the Falcons, and this involves special teams. And Bryce Santos is not fit to play today. That's the Falcons' kicker. And so we're going to have to see the Falcons get a little creative today on the kicking game, the punting game, the special teams game. And so they have to go to who is essentially the 4th choice on their season beginning depth charts.
And it'll be Bubba Lynch doing the kicking for the Falcons today. The provisional backup kicker, Kyrie Watford, is also out for Fitchburg State. So Bubba Lynch is going to be doing the kicking. And I believe, if I'm reading the depth chart right, Connor Fitzsimons is the long snapper for the Falcons today?
That's what it appears to be.
Wasn't Fitzsimons also the holder on field goals?
Yes, he was.
So who's going to be doing that? Brandon Brown, maybe.
I have no idea.
Or alternately, we're not going to see the Falcons' field goal offense today. We're going to be seeing a lot of going for it on 4th down and a lot of 2-point conversions and a lot of squib kicks. Squib kicks are what we call bad kicks, right? Squib kicks.
Well, we're going to have to see we're going to have to see how the Falcons are going to come out in terms of the kicking game today, because it's going to be very different for them. They don't have an established kicker. We don't know what to expect out of Melchior Bubba Lynch.
That's right. And really, it's just another difficulty on what has already been a frustrating season for the Falcons. Dan, losers of their first 4 games. Only one of those games particularly competitive. That was our last telecast, the 22-16 loss to Worcester State. And if you go back to last season, Fitchburg State has dropped 9 games in a row.
The last win they got was against Mass Maritime on the road at Buzzards Bay 1 year ago. This is the longest losing streak the Falcons have had since 1996, when they lost all 9 games that season.
It's a difficult start to the campaign for the Falcons head coach, Jim McGuire. One little interesting note as we have a moment here, Jim McGuire, obviously we've mentioned it a few times, an alumnus of Springfield College. His opponent today, Jeremy Cameron, also a Springfield College alum.
With that nice connection there to Springfield College pride. Represent here today at Elliott Field.
Coach Cameron is in his 14th season manning the Buccaneers. And as you see, the captains there are at midfield for the Falcons. And once again, Fitchburg State will be without the services of one Herbert Acosta. You see him there on the far right in the shorts. Those are still not regulation. Acosta's been dealing with a number of injuries that have kept him out of play this season. You also see Kyrie Watford on the far left, also not dressed for competition. So Fitchburg State without 2 of their 5 captains.
Gentlemen, shake hands and say good luck. Let's get started.
So Fitchburg State will receive the opening kickoff. And we will have to wait until possibly as long as the 3rd quarter to see the Fitchburg State kicking game.
And if we have to wait that long to see it, then that's going to be a wait well earned. Falcons take the field now. They're wearing the alternate gold uniforms with green numbers. They brought those out for the 2nd time this season. They've gone back and forth between those and the typical primary green uniforms with the gold numbering. I do like these uniforms. They're a little older than the previous set before the green uniforms, but they are very nice. They always look nice and sharp.
I will say, even putting aside my broadcasting complaints about the Mass Maritime uniforms, I don't particularly care for them. But anyway, we'll step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be back in just a moment. It's Falcon football. It's homecoming right here on FATV. Fitchburg State University football here on FATV. It is homecoming here at Elliott Field. And again, folks, if you're in Fitchburg, if you're maybe on the fence, you know, as much as we would appreciate if you stayed at home and listened to myself and Dan call the game, come on down. It's homecoming. It's a beautiful day. There's plenty of stuff to do, and you'll get to see the football game. But for those of you who maybe don't feel like coming down, or if you happen to know folks who are outside the area, maybe up in Buzzards Bay, we, of course, would be remiss if we did not mention that this game, as well as all FATV telecasts, is available via any number of means. FATV.org, or also the Fitchburg Access Television Facebook page. Hello to everybody on Facebook. Plenty of ways to watch the game. Isn't that right, Dan?
Absolutely. We also thank our viewers watching online at FATV.org and all the associated outlets, and thank everyone tuning in Comcast 9, Verizon 36 in the Fitchburg area.
Fitchburg State receiving the opening kickoff. They'll be going from the right to the left across your television screen. And with the play-by-play of the first and fourth quarters today is Mr. Dan Bolek.
Thank you very much, John. As George Lampros, the sophomore, getting ready to kick it off, wearing number 99 for Mass Maritime. He will kick it away. A booming kick downfield. Chris Tamaketti will haul it in around the 10-yard line, cut towards the middle of the field, now towards the near side, trying to turn the corner, trying to find a route to go, and he's forced out of bounds just past the 30-yard line.
Pretty decent return there for Tamaketti, Dan. You saw him, he was looking for a corner. He never quite found it, but even as he was running laterally, he was also moving up the field, and he was able to get that ball out across the 30. They're going to mark him at the, actually right at the 30-yard line.
That's where he goes out of bounds. So here's the first drive of the contest. And Brandon Brown will be taking the snap for the Falcons, shaking off the injury concerns from last week against Bridgewater. And on first down, a quick throw to the right side, complete to Jesse Brown. Brown going up the far side. He is hauled down at the 35-yard line. Half the yards gained on first down.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast that the Falcon rushing game has been their primary method of attack. The passing game has really fallen behind. Brandon Brown, about 40% completion rate on the year, still looking for his first touchdown pass as he goes into his 5th game.
Well, it was also interesting on that first down play, the quick throw to the right side. We haven't seen the Falcons make too many of those check down short passes. This is 2nd and 5, play action. They'll throw to Brown again, now on the near side. Brown makes a few cuts. He's past the 40-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Fitchburg State.
We talk about how the passing game hasn't been there thus far, but with a freshman quarterback, you see improvement week after week already on this first drive. The Brown-to-Brown connection strikes. You'll see it here. It's a good play action fake. Almost faked out our camera operator, and then they set up the little wide receiver screen to Jesse Brown, and he's able to pick up the first down.
And Brown using his height, 6'2", 170. He's from Yonkers. This will be a handoff, and it is Jaquay Solomon who gets the first handoff of the game, but the Buccaneer defense having none of it. It looks like a loss of a yard for the Falcons on first down. So, go ahead.
We saw Jaquay Solomon have an incredible game against Worcester State, running for well over 200 yards. And he gets the start today.
So it'll be 2nd and 11. About 1:45 into this contest. Brandon Brown takes the snap. It's Solomon again trying to get around the right side. He's going to get back the yard he lost and not much more. As we said, Mass Maritime has a very good run defense. Only have given up 85 yards a game. They forced Framingham to go through the air to beat them, which they were more than comfortable doing, but still.
It's something.
It is, and Maritime's pass defense is not very good. 260 yards a game conceded. That's worst in the conference. But if only the Falcons' passing game was there, that's something they may look for today. 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to the near side. Brown looking to his right, looking to run with it. He's going to run with it. He's going to get a few yards, but it's not going to be enough for a first down. He's down around the 47-yard line.
Good coverage downfield by the Buccaneers. Brown felt a little bit of pressure, decided to step up and ultimately run out of the pocket. He was able to pick up a few yards, but not enough, and now Fitchburg State will kick it away. Here comes Bubba Lynch to punt.
So it has come to this. Bubba Lynch ready to punt it away for the Falcons. That's number 2 in gold, and let's see what he can do. It's a low snap, hops once. He's going to get the kick off, and that's a pretty good one, actually.
It's a very good punt. We mentioned, of course, in addition to the kicking and punting game, the long snapping game is in flux for the Falcons. That was Connor Fitzsimons, the backup quarterback for Fitchburg State, who did the long snapping there. Didn't quite get it all the way, but Lynch was able to recover and get off a good punt.
Paul Santos took in the fair catch for the Buccaneers. They've only had 1 punt return this year through 3 games, Mass Maritime has, but it was for 66 yards.
They'll take that.
Every day of the week. Here's Ty Ebdon on first down. He'll hand it off. He'll go to the right side. That's Ben Sheehan. And he'll be wrapped up and tackled by the Falcons. About 2 yards gained on that one on first down.
Mass Maritime will see a lot of the 2 running back set for them. You see it there, Andrew DeCarter at number 20 and also 33, Benjamin Sheehan. This time it's Sheehan, the junior out of Wilbraham, who gets the carry, and really nothing doing there. Fitchburg State's defense did a good job wrapping him up.
And so they'll go to 2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard gain by Benjamin Sheehan on first down. 2 running backs for the Buccaneers. And it'll be another handoff, cut up the middle this time. But everybody wrapping him up. And that is Sheehan again for the Buccaneers. Gets about 4 or 5 on this one. Pretty good run on second down.
Second down and long, Falcons may be playing a little bit off, preparing for the pass, but Mass Maritime stays on the ground, sets them up with a manageable third down, and call it a long 2.
Maritime struggled on third down last week. They went 2 for 18 against Framingham. 2 receivers again, 2 running backs in the backfield is what I wanted to say. And it's a fake as it's taken to the left side, and it's going to be good enough for a first down. Ebdon ran with it himself.
It's a very well drawn up play there for Mass Maritime. A good call by Jeremy Cameron. We'll see here on the replay, they faked the handoff going right. The entire offensive line blocked as though it was a run to the right, but indeed Ebdon kept it himself and ran to the left. There was nobody there, and he was able to easily pick up the first down.
Ebdon is fairly mobile for the Buccaneers. Ran with it 8 times for 45 yards last week against Framingham. This time a throw to the far side, and this one is caught by the Buccaneers. Believe that is Paul Sansis.
Well, Dan, why don't you just look at the number on his shoulder? Oh, wait.
That's not there, and his number's all bunched up, but I believe it is Sansis. We're going to go with that.
It is 27, who is, wait for it, Paul Sansis.
So my first guess was the correct guess, fortunately enough. Second down, 5 to go for the Buccaneers. 5 yards on the first pass completion of the day. Buccaneers have 2 receivers to the left. One of the Falcons rushing in there. They're trying to read the play. The flag goes up as Sheehan was the ball carrier. He gets pretty close to the line to gain for a first down, but we'll see what they do here.
I think the Falcons mistimed the blitz there. The carry was enough for a first down, so I suspect we're going to get offsides and decline. But we'll see.
Defense, decline, first down.
You can't decline encroachment.
Well, they've gone and done it.
He misspoke. It was offside. If it was encroachment, they would have blown the whistle, stopped the play. Ball actually came out there right at the end of that run. Good catch by our camera crew upstairs. But Sheehan was able to fall on the fumble, and of course it would have been moot if the Falcons had recovered because of the offside penalty.
On first down, play action. Ebdon waiting, plenty of time. Throws over the middle, long throw. That is caught by Sansis. That is going to be a Buccaneer touchdown.
We've seen Mass Maritime's offense move in little fits and starts. Quick passes off to the side, handoffs up the middle. This time on first down, they go play action and go for it all. Ebdon has plenty of time. You see him waiting, finally unloads, and by the time he does, Paul Sansis has 2 steps on his man, and that's 2 steps too many. 6 points for the Buccaneers.
George Lampros attempt the extra point. He's 6 for 7 this season. Sansis is the holder. This kick is up, and this kick is good. 8:43 to go. First quarter. Fitchburg 0, Mass Maritime 7.
Less than halfway through the first quarter, and the Falcon defense gives up a big play and a touchdown. Fitchburg State coming into this one with the lowest ranked defense in terms of points allowed, allowing 37 points per game, and they've already allowed 7 here.
And of course, the passing defense, they've given up 235 yards a game through the air. Second worst in the conference behind only Maritime's 260. But if it hasn't been turnovers that have bitten the Falcons in the rear, it's been the deep balls. We've seen one in almost every game this year.
And really, that one was just perfectly executed by Mass Maritime. They run that offense that gets the Falcons up toward the line, and then they go play action and they go for the bomb. And it was a beautifully thrown ball as well by Ebdon.
So 7-0 to the Buccaneers. Tomaketti will haul this one in at the 20-yard line. And he's going to get to the 30, and that's as far as he'll get. And some whistles afterwards, a couple of extracurriculars. But that's all been dealt with. So the Falcons will try their second drive of the contest.
Fitchburg State was able to get one first down. I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead.
Well, you basically said what I was going to say, so it's all right.
See, we're on the same wavelength. Sterling Garvin checks in as the running back for Fitchburg State.
Try something else on this drive. 3 receivers to the far side for the green and gold. And play action, Brown rolling right side, gets the short pass off. That's complete to Kevin Quinn. And he's going to be down around the 34-yard line. About a 4-yard gain on that one.
I think Mass Maritime would be more than happy to hold the Falcons to those quick little 4-yard passes. And this time it's well executed. Brown rolls out to his right, hits his receiver right in the hands. Thus far, accuracy has been the big problem for Brandon Brown. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast he has about a 40% completion rate coming into this one.
It has been a struggle, but like I said, the Falcons, they haven't really tried, those check downs, those short throws. On second down, they'll throw to the near side. It's Brown complete. Stumbles a little bit as he had to try to dodge the tackle from Hunter LaVille.
I think, Dan, there was a little bit of miscommunication there between Brandon Brown and Sterling Garvin. Brown, we'll see it here on the replay actually, he runs as though there's a play action fake to his left, but Garvin isn't there. Garvin's already running a route into the flat. So that little delay, obviously Mass Maritime's not going to bite on a play fake to nobody. So that delay helps trigger Mass Maritime to know, oh, they're setting up a quick pass to this side. Let's just go kill that guy. And that's what they did.
So 3rd down, 6 to go. Or 4 to go, excuse me. After they got 2 on the 2nd and 6. They'll fake the handoff. Brown's going to run with it himself. Dodges out of one tackle, but there's the one right behind him. And wrapping him up from behind is Eric Marchant.
Austin Stommer also in on the hit for the Buccaneers. That time it looked as though it was either a designed quarterback run or maybe an option play. Brown carried him himself to the left side. He got one block from the receiver out there, Mike August, but unfortunately there were too many men to beat. And now 4th down and 1. Long snapping has been an issue. Is Fitchburg State going to ask for a measurement here?
One of the Falcons is coming off the field, I should point out. That is number 73, that's Darius Markeski, who needed to be helped off. They are also going to measure while they're at it.
Dan, I believe this is our first measurement of the season. I also believe they're at least half a football's length short. This is not particularly close.
You can see it in the slack. I mean, they are about a football length short. Looks like they have to get to just about exactly the 40-yard line. So, get about a half a yard to a yard. If they want to go for it, they're not going to.
I mean, okay, guys, come on. It's 4th and the length of a football. You are on your 2nd string long snapper and your 4th string punter and you're 0-4, and this is the worst team you're facing this season. Why are you punting? Danny, why?
I don't know.
Hey, you got me on that?
It's not my job to call the plays, it's just my job to announce them.
No more zero.
So Fitzsimons to snap it to Bubba Lynch. And getting it away is Lynch. This one high in the air. It's muffed! That's going to be Falcon ball!
What did I tell you? The punt was the perfect call. Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
It was a high punt, and Sanchez camping under it, looking for it, just goes through his hands, and Jenry Rosario is there to pounce on it.
It was a brilliant play call, and I supported it every step of the way, and any video evidence you might have to the contrary is fake news.
As some of our viewers rewind their DVRs.
Shut up. Didn't happen.
1st and 10 for the Falcons from the Buccaneer 23-yard line. Garvin's got the handoff. It's not going to get very far. Down and around the 21-yard line. The thing I noticed on Bubba Lynch's punt there, it was high in the air and it was spiraling a lot.
It was a very high kick. Sanchez had to look up into the sun, and it is a very bright sun right now.
Right over Elliott Field. I think there was that. It was not going to be an easy one to handle. I think all of that taken into account led to it going right through his hands. And the Falcons were right there to pounce on it. So second down, it is going to be Garvin again. He's going to get a couple more on this one. Now inside the 20, down around the 17-yard line.
And really, Dan, when the Falcons are on offense, especially when they go to the ground, it's been a case of the unstoppable force or the immovable object. The Fitchburg State running game coming in best in the conference against, as we've mentioned, the best in conference rush defense of Mass Maritime. And really, to this point, the Buccaneers have the advantage. Fitchburg State hasn't been able to establish much of anything on the ground.
And of course, the pass game, it's like Maritime's pass game's not great, but the Falcons have only been able to get those checkdowns thus far, and it's going to be another run. Solomon is going to find a hole this time. He's down around the 10-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Falcons. This looks like first and goal.
This time Solomon was able to slip through the line of scrimmage, find a little bit of a hole, and then cut back to the right. Let's take another look at it here. Actually jumps to his left and then takes a step to his right. Puts his hands on his hips and bends his knees in time and does other things.
Now the chain crew will take a break as it is first and goal from inside the 10-yard line. Solomon again in the backfield for the Falcons. And it'll be a handoff to him. Gets out of one tackle. Now he's running parallel to the 5-yard line, trying to break out of another tackle. Isn't able to do so, but he's going to get that forward momentum to the 5. Half the distance gotten on that first down run.
Solomon breaks through the line. He looks like he's going to be brought down here, but he just decides to give Cam Stewart a ride for a few yards. Gets it inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Second and goal for the Falcons. Got 3 receivers split to the right. Solomon back in the backfield. And Mike August on the left side. Whistles. Play clock was running down.
Okay, fans, so it's homecoming weekend here at Elliott Field at Fitchburg State University. Gathered up to the upper concourse.
Sounds like Fitchburg has called time with 3:55 to go in the first quarter. Maritime leads 7-0. Falcons are threatening.
Fitchburg State looking for possibly Brandon Brown's first career passing touchdown.
Could very well be. Just going to go quickly around the conference for a scoreboard. Plymouth State at halftime leads Worcester State 24-0. Bridgewater and Westfield kicked off at the same time as we did. Bridgewater's up 7-0 over Westfield. Bridgewater, who the Falcons played last week, and Westfield, who we'll be seeing in 2 weeks. And UMass Dartmouth and Western Connecticut, we're not going to have any updates from that. That's a 5 o'clock start. So second down and 4, the Falcons do change the formation a little bit. They go to a 3-receiver set with a tight end. Solomon again in the backfield. He's going to take it, try to find a hole through everything. He's not going to be able to find that hole. And he ultimately only gets about a little over a yard.
Looked like basically the same play the Falcons ran 2 plays ago that picked up first down. That little counter run ultimately to the left-hand side. That time the Buccaneer defense stood strong. And now third down and 4. Probably 2-down territory for the Falcons, but we'll see.
We'll see if that's going to be a good question too, to see if the Falcons get the touchdown here, if they'll go for 2. We got the wishbone formation out there. They have Garvin and Solomon in the backfield. They go to Solomon. He's not going to get there. He gets nothing on that one. Now what do you do on fourth down? I mean,
I'm the guy who wanted to go for it at 4th and 1 on your own 40, so I think you know what I'm going to say.
Yep. But the question is, you want to go with a pass here on 4th down?
Yes.
You want to go with the pass?
I want to go shotgun, trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right, quarterback rolls out right, tries to hit a receiver crossing across the goal line. If he doesn't do that, he runs it in himself.
Falcons will have 2. Let's see. They have Solomon split out as a receiver. Now he'll go in motion on 4th down. We haven't seen this play. And Brown's going to run it himself, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
Or do that. I like that. That plays better.
They go for it on 4th down, and Brandon Brown runs into the end zone for the touchdown, his third rushing touchdown of the season. The Falcons are within a point.
Fitchburg State using their versatile, talented running game to its fullest extent. They bring the man in motion, fake the handoff there, and now it's just a question of what do you do? There's nothing you can do on defense to stop Brandon Brown from taking it in himself. And now we're going to see the Falcons indeed go for two. They are not going to try to kick an extra point.
We know Bubba Lynch can punt it. Not really sure how he can kick it from 20 yards, so they'll go for the two. And Brown's going to take it himself, going to try to get around. He only pitches it off to Sterling Garvin, trying to spin his way into the end zone. He's not going to make it, though. Creative try by the Falcons, not able to find success. And so 2:26 to go in the first quarter. It's Fitchburg State 6, Mass Maritime 7.
And that two-point conversion play, Dan, it's just a basic option out to the left. The quarterback goes left, the running back goes left, and then it's in Brandon Brown's hands. And he got rid of that ball at the right time. The Buccaneers just defended it very, very well.
For the most part, the Falcons did as much as they could have done with that play. It just wasn't going to be a success against the daunting Maritime run defense.
So now for the first time today, we will see Fitchburg State kick it away. And as you said, Dan, Bubba Lynch has shown a pretty good leg in terms of punting. So there should at least be some distance here. But of course, Fitchburg State without Bryce Santos as he deals with an injury. Without Kyrie Watford as he deals with an injury. Bubba Lynch is the man doing the kicking today for Fitchburg State.
And he kicks it pretty well. Taking it around the 10-yard line. Buccaneers trying to run it down. It is Sheehan. Runs into a wall at the 33.
You know who he ran into? I'll tell you who he ran into. He ran into Bubba Lynch. Bubba Lynch may be kicking, but he is not a kicker.
He can do return stuff as well. And have another man, instead of having the kicker be the last man back, instead have one get right in there. That's one extra guy to prevent the big run.
And that's what happened.
Let's see what Maritime comes out with on their second drive of the contest. So as we saw that home run pass from Ty Ebdon to Paul Sansis.
And it really was everything moving as intended on the first drive for Mass Maritime. The run game was more than effective. The quick little short passes worked, and when they went deep, they got 6 points.
So on first down, they've got two in the backfield. They get the handoff, going to the left side, and not much gained there. That's Matt Long, the junior from Weymouth. Got about 3 yards on that first down run. Now let's have a look at the replay.
Maritime again going with those two men in the backfield. We've seen that plenty of times today, and we expect to see it plenty of times more. That time, as you said, it was Long who got the carry, and he was brought down after a short gain.
So on second down again, two in the backfield, but this time Ebdon wants to run with it. Now he gets the pitch off, much like what the Falcons were trying to do there, and now the ball's loose, but they've called a penalty.
I think everybody at home realizes what the call is going to be there. Malik Crowford just came in and delivered a big, very illegal hit to the head of the ball carrier there. We'll take a look at it again. And this is also just a quick little quarterback option. He's going to pitch it out at the very last moment. And then right here at the end of the play, Crawford comes in and he is just aiming directly for the head. You cannot do that.
Low hit to low hit. Danny DiGirolamo was the ball carrier. He takes that hit there, and now there may be some discussion about targeting.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
Falcons will dodge a bullet. They will not call targeting, just unnecessary roughness. The 15-yard penalty is the same, but Malik Crawford will be allowed to remain in the contest.
You see DiGirolamo being led to the sideline there. Obviously, the Buccaneer coaches and training staff will take a look at him, and hopefully he's all right, and we'll try to get you an update on his status, let you know if he gets back into this game. Although, to be honest, after a hit like that, I kind of hope he doesn't, because I hope he's okay.
We hope the best for him. Andrew DeCarteret and Matt Long in the backfield. For Mass Maritime, play action. Ebdon hit as he throws it. It is overthrown to Paul Sansis. Good defense by the Falcons on that one.
This time Maritime goes play action. You saw Ebdon looking long again, but there was good coverage down the left sideline, so he goes to his second option, Sansis, and he was unable to find the completion.
We'll go 2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers. 1:10 to go in this first quarter. The Buccaneers with the 1-point lead, 7-6. Maritime on their second drive of the contest. Finding pay dirt on the first, of course. To the backfield again. Long to his left. He's going to give it to Long. No, he isn't. He's going to keep it himself. Try to run for a couple yards, and a couple of yards is all he's going to get. That is Ty Ebdon, the quarterback for Mass Maritime out of Gales Ferry, Connecticut.
Fitchburg State, Dan, has been bringing more and more defenders up into the box here, trying to shut down that running game and trusting their corners with man coverage on the outside. That time it worked out well for them as they were able to shut down that run. Sets up 3rd down and 8 now for the Buccaneers.
Ebdon only 2 for 3 through the air today. Last week he was 12 for 36. He's looking to pass this time, and he's got to throw out to the far side. It is dropped. Nearly caught by the Buccaneers.
Dan, I don't know if that ball was dropped or if it was swatted out of the receiver's hands. Jared Citizen was on the coverage for Fitchburg State. Let's take a look at it again here. Pass there, hits the receiver in the hands, and I think Citizen swiped down with his right hand and knocked that ball free.
It was Braven Bose who was the one who had his hands on the football, but he wasn't able to haul it in. So the snap is over the head of Lambros. He is in deep trouble. And the Falcons are going to get a gift from that.
The punting game has been marvelous on both sides of the ball for Fitchburg State today. We talked about how Fitchburg State is on their 2nd string long snapper. No such injury woes as we know for the Buccaneers, but it is Mass Maritime who turns the ball over on an errant snap.
The Falcons will have the ball from inside the 25-yard line. Once again, they start a drive thanks to a special teams miscue inside the 25. A huge gift for the green and gold. 1st down for the Falcons. This is an empty backfield. It so appears. And Brown is going to run it himself. He's got no handoff option there. He doesn't need a handoff option. He is still going, and he is down inside the 3-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon Brown doesn't need a handoff option. Brandon Brown is a handoff option, okay? That is a well-designed play by Fitchburg State. They sell the pass just long enough, spread the defense out. Brandon Brown was one defender away from having his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. And maybe he'll get it on the first play of the 2nd quarter. So Dan, as this first quarter of action comes to an end, Fitchburg State trails in this one by a score of 7-6, but it certainly feels as though momentum is on their side.
It certainly does seem so. The special teams, we thought it would be a challenge for the Falcons today, down to the 4th choice kicker. And Bubba Lynch he's kicked off well, he's punted well.
Bubba Lynch has acquitted himself very well.
And so the Falcons don't have a whole lot to worry about there. Meanwhile, Maritime has had a disaster in terms of that. A muffed punt, and now a snap going over their punter's head. About as disastrous as it could have gone. And now the Falcons have a chance to strike to open this 2nd quarter. And John Gugerty, you're going to be the man who calls that.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Dan. And thank you to the Falcon offense for gifting me with this field position. I appreciate it. Fitchburg State has it 1st and goal at the, what is that, the 2-yard line? The 3?
I'm going to say the 3 from my binoculars.
And you see there Falcons defensive coaches. I believe that's Asante Easter working the whiteboard for the Falcon defense. The offense trying to give them the lead. They'll go shotgun. Sterling Garvin is in the backfield, and Garvin gets the carry, and he is wrapped up immediately Mass Maritime brought the entire fleet on that play, and Garvin could not get away.
To me, that setup was like a penalty kick in soccer, where the goalie's job is just to guess where the kicker is going to kick it. Is it going to go to the left? Is it going to go to the right? And they all guessed that Sterling Garvin was going to go to the right, and that's exactly where he went. And it's a 2-yard loss.
So now 2nd down and goal from the 5 for Fitchburg State. Garvin remains in the backfield. Also for the Falcons is 21, Jaquay Solomon. So both of the leading ball carriers on the field for Fitchburg State. Solomon gets the carry, cuts to his right, spins out of 1 tackle, dives forward. He is down, shy of the goal line, inside the 1. He is beside himself. I think it was the right call. It'll be 3rd down and goal inside the 1-yard line. Solomon brought down short of the goal line.
Oh, John, that was so close. I honestly thought he'd gotten in there.
To my naked eye, I thought he was brought down short. It was very close, but I do think it was the right call. Regardless, it's now 3rd down and goal inside the 1. Fitchburg State with 3 wide receivers, and we get whistles and flags right at the snap. Looked like Brandon Brown.
78 on the offense, 5 yards.
They say Jason Urado jumped. And the Falcons, the way that Brandon Brown was lining up there, he was looking to probably leap over the line, but now he's not going to get that chance.
Brandon Brown moved up to the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was going to take the snap and just leap. Didn't quite happen as a result of the false start. Now it's 3rd and 6 for Fitchburg State. They go 4 wide receivers, one of which is Jaquay Solomon. Play action fake. Brown will keep it himself, rolls to his right, gets a block from Solomon, but he can't get to the end zone. He is dragged down and forced out of bounds. Austin Stommer with a big stop on defense for Mass Maritime.
Stommer just wrapping his arms around Brown and not letting go. He saved 6 points.
There's a block there from Solomon, but Stommer did a good job. He was being blocked by Mike August. He was able to shed August and then get free and bring down Brown. Now,
6'3", 180 from Wareham. That's Austin Stommer, and he gets that big stop there.
Now on 4th down and goal, Fitchburg State 2 men in the backfield. Play action throw to the left side. Solomon's got it. Can he get to the corner? He can! Touchdown Falcons! On 4th down and goal, with a 4th string kicker and a 2nd string long snapper, and God only knows what the holder would be, Fitchburg State decides to go for the touchdown, and they get it. I believe, Dan, the only question is, does that count as a forward pass? I believe it was a forward pass, which would make it the first career touchdown pass for Brandon Brown.
I did not get a good look at it, John. I will be honest with you.
So now Fitchburg State with the lead in this one by a score of 12-7. They will go for 2. Chris Tamiketti replaces Solomon. Sterling Garvin still on the field. Play action fake. Brown keeps it himself, looks to his right. He will just take it in himself. 2-point conversion is good, and Fitchburg State leads this one by a score of 14-7.
You can tell how much Brown trusts himself to run the football, to make those moves, to find the routes that he needs to navigate his way into the end zone. He does so for 2.
We're going to take a look here at the touchdown play. It's 4th down and 5. Brown throws that ball. It's very close as to whether or not it's a forward pass. It doesn't really matter, though. Jaquay Solomon takes it in untouched to the corner of the end zone. Fitchburg State, Dan, I think we're starting to see the best Falcon offense when they've got Brown and Solomon and Sterling Garvin and Chris Tamiketti, any 2 of those 3 running back options, as well as the quarterback who can throw, who can run. This is the best Fitchburg State has looked all season on offense.
It definitely seems that way, especially since, 2 weeks ago. Well, I'll save that point for after this.
Kickoff by Bubba Lynch is taken in at about the 15-yard line. Matt Long on the return for Mass Maritime. He's forced out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, and you were saying, Dan?
All right, so as I was saying, we saw 2 weeks ago the Falcons running for as many yards as they did on the ground, and they didn't deviate from a one running back formation. It was always one running back in the backfield. In the non-conference games, they were willing to put 2 in the backfield, and I think that's something that's worth experimenting with. Both Jaquay Solomon, as you said, Jaquay Solomon, Sterling Garvin, Chris Tavaketti, as I'm getting tongue-tied now, all has options there to run, to pass to.
And there are so many things you can do if you have a quarterback who can run and throw, and we're starting to see a little bit of that with Fitchburg State. And we might see more of it here with Mass Maritime as they run a rather similar offense. This time the handoff goes to the left side. That's Benjamin Sheehan, the ball carrier. We've seen a fair amount of him. He picks up 2 or 3 yards there.
Indeed, a couple yards to the left, and
the officials killed the play there as they realized that the kickoff tee had never been retrieved.
well, good thing it was on the other side of the field.
Would have been a whole incident. The guy completes a 40-yard pass and then gets tackled by the tee. It would have been bad. 2nd down and 8 now for the Buccaneers. They send a man in motion and then go handoff to the right side. This is Sheehan again, and Sheehan is dragged down behind the initial line of scrimmage even. Looks like that was Kiambu Jones leading the hit for the Falcons, but really, Dan, there was an entire flock of birds there to make that tackle.
A lot of different options, but it was Kiambu Jones who was able to read the play there. Comes in there, wraps his arms around, won't let go. And Kiambu Jones, who had half a tackle for a loss coming into today, the freshman from East Orange, New Jersey. Now he's got a whole tackle for a loss to call his own.
3rd down and 12 now, Mass Maritime. They go play action fake, pass is tipped and falls incomplete. Bubba Lynch almost made the interception on defense. But Dan, the Falcon defense showing their best stand of the game thus far, forcing Mass Maritime to go 3 and out, and now we have to watch their punting game to make sure they can get the ball away.
Yes, as we saw in the last one, it was just disaster in 12-tenths for Mass Maritime. Lampros ready for it.
And Fitchburg State is bringing all 10 men up to the line to go after this one. It's a high spiraling punt. Fair catch called for and made at about the 28-yard line. It was Kevin Quinn who made the catch. It called for a fair catch even though there was 15 yards of nothing in front of him.
I'll admit that Kevin Quinn getting those punt returns is really scaring me. Last week, he did muff a punt that Bridgewater recovered. We saw that happen at Elliott a few weeks ago as well. And he looked like he was scrambling there and just able to haul that one in. But that really does scare me.
It's something to watch for the Falcons special team unit, to be sure. Now Fitchburg State's offense will come back out onto the field. 1st down and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Looks like Jaquay Solomon in the backfield. Trips receivers to the near side. 1 man split out far left. Quick pass to the near side is complete. Jesse Brown with the catch. He dances out of 1 tackle and is brought down at about the 32-yard line. The Brown-to-Brown connection is good for 5 yards on that one. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
As we mentioned, Brandon Brown not afraid to go with those swing passes there out to the flats. We haven't seen him try to throw downfield yet, but we know that that has been a challenge for Brown and the Falcons thus far. So for the time being, the Brown-to-Brown connection is working to get some yardage out there.
And really, Dan, just completing those quick passes out to the side forces Mass Maritime to spread their defense and respect it, which in turn opens up running options up the middle. Now on 2nd down and 5, it's a run up the middle. How about that? Not very successful, however, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there for Jaquay Solomon. So you can see the theory, though, even though in practice it didn't work out as well.
Just trying to run through the middle, try to make a cut back, but again, Maritime's strong run defense really getting in the way.
Fitchburg State now facing 3rd down and 5. This time 3 receivers to the far side and only Mike August on the near. Quick pass, this one is tipped and falls incomplete. Fortunate breaks on both sides of the ball in terms of tipped passes on 3rd down. That one, usually, Dan, when a pass is tipped at the line, it goes straight up That pass went a good 15 yards after it was tipped.
A lot of oomph on that throw. Interestingly enough, that was actually the first missed pass by Brown today. Didn't feel like it, but it was. It was 5 for 5 up to that point.
Bubba Lynch will kick it away for the Falcons. Good snap this time. Punt is a little bit short. Bounces at around midfield and takes a Buccaneer roll. So this time they're going to down it at about the 48-yard line of Mass Maritime.
I guess that's sort of the downside with having someone who isn't fully trained as a kicker or punter like Bryce Santos is you're not going to, you might be able to get the distance every now and again, but you're not going to get the consistency.
Now we saw a good punt the first time Bubba Lynch was called on, but that second one left a little bit to be desired. Sets up Mass Maritime with pretty good field position. 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Handoff goes to Sheehan, the tailback. He gets a good block. He's across midfield to about the 45-yard line. They'll bring him down there after a gain of 6 yards.
Strong run on 1st down. I will say, too, looking at the rushing numbers, Maritime takes a huge hit from that snap that went over Lampros's head because that cost the team 34 yards.
See, that's a problem. You don't want that.
They're almost back to 0 with that run.
Almost back to 0, the Mass Maritime story. 2nd down and 4 for the Buccaneers at the Falcon 45-yard line. Sheehan gets the carry once again, this time running to his right. Really nothing doing there. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and spun forward. Might have gained a yard.
We mentioned that Maritime does like to run the ball. They're averaging 118 yards on the ground a game. That's 8th in the conference. The pass offense, 171 a game. That's 6th in the conference, giving them the worst overall yards per game in the conference thus far.
3rd down and 4 now for the Buccaneers. They need the 41. Play action fake. Ebdon throws to his left. Pass is low and incomplete. Looks like he was trying to find Paul Sanzas. That's been his favorite target today. Pass falls incomplete. And now a decision for the Buccaneers, and I think they're going to kick it away.
He's looking to replay a quick pass, and that was well out of the reach of Santos. Javon White had the coverage there, but that was just a quick throw, maybe a little bit of panic from Ebdon, and it was just too far out of the reach of Santos. He was going to need another like 3-4 inches on his reach. That's not a good snap either.
This time it's a low snap, bounces. Fair catch called for and made at about the 11-yard line. And you know what, Dan? I've been perhaps harshly critical of some of the Falcons' decisions on 4th down, but I'm going to say it here. It's 4th down and 3 on your opponent's 44-yard line, and you're losing. Why are you punting?
Just not as aggressive of an offense, I guess. Maybe a little too early to be going forward on 4th down from that territory. But
4th and 3.
But after all, I mean, I think the Falcon faithful who are familiar with our calls over the last few years will know that both of us are a bit exuberant in terms of our offensive play calling, in terms of if we'd want to go for it or not.
1st down handoff goes to the right side for the Falcons. This is, I believe, Jaquay Solomon. It is Solomon. He's brought down actually a loss of about a yard there.
It's a challenging run on 1st down. And a good read there by the Buccaneers. Looks like 98 had the tackle.
It's Colin Casey, sophomore out of Melrose, who made the hit there for the Under-Me Buccaneers.
The 2nd and 12.
Halfway through the 2nd quarter of action here, Fitchburg State leading this one 14-7. This time Brown takes it on the delay. There's a flag down on the play around where Brown was hit. Also an offensive lineman.
77, offense with a hold.
Well, that's not good.
So a hold indicated against Fitchburg State. And really, Dan, these delayed quarterback runs.
Hold on the offense, decline, 3rd down.
Mass Maritime declines the holding penalty. They'll take the result of the play, which was itself a loss. And Dan, these delayed quarterback runs really aren't working much on this drive for Fitchburg State, I think because Mass Maritime just doesn't believe the Falcons are going to throw the ball downfield.
They don't have a lot of trust in those downfield throws, and even the one they've attempted thus far was tipped at the line.
Now 3rd down and 14 for Fitchburg State. Play action, Brown rolling to his left, still rolling, not even looking like he's going to throw the ball. Finally ducks out of bounds around the original line of scrimmage. Fitchburg State winds up going 3 and out, and they will have to kick this one away.
Wanted to roll out to the left side. I don't think there was really ever any, he was never going to have the time to just square up and throw it. He was always in pursuit. It just wasn't really an opportunity. He just had to run with it, get to the flank, and hope he could find some space, and he couldn't find any space.
So now 4th down, Bubba Lynch on to kick it away. Good snap. This is a pretty good punt, high, end over end. Fair catch called for and made at the Falcon 43-yard line, so it's about a 33-yard kick.
And all's told, Maritime basically is back to where they were before they punted it to Fitchburg in the first place.
Pretty much. It was 4th and 3 on the 44, and they kicked it away, and now it's 1st and 10 at the 42. So if you do that exchange 21 more times, you're going to get a safety out of it.
If it kills the rest of the half, the Falcons would take it, possibly.
Sansis goes in motion for Mass Maritime. It's a handoff to the right side. This is Long. He gets through the hole. He's across the 1st down marker. Finally spun down at the Falcon 30-yard line. Stop the clock, move the chains. Booyaka, booyaka, 6:18 to go. Not quite Rey Mysterio time. 6:18 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. Buccaneers have themselves a 1st down.
That was the best run they've had all day. The first time they've gotten double-digit yards on a run. It was just Long able to get around the whole scrub of players and able to find some pay dirt, wrapped up by the, looked like Bubba Lynch was in on that tackle there, fresh off the punting duty.
Now from the Falcon 30, it's another handoff to Long to the right side. This time he's hit in the backfield, lunges across the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down out of bounds after a gain of about 2.
Samuel Kenny was in on that one. That was able to trip up Long for enough for the rest of the reinforcements to come. 2-yard gain there for Long, who's now they're giving the ball to. He only had 1 rushing attempt, I think, coming into this drive.
Well, remember there was the injury to Danny DiGirolamo. Maybe moving Long up the depth chart. Long gets the carry here on 2nd down. Across the initial line of scrimmage, he cut to his left, but could never cut back upfield. Wound up running parallel to the 25-yard line for a while and was finally brought down there.
It also looked like, as he started to make that cut down the 25-yard line, that he was losing his balance the whole way, and at that point he was just struggling to stay on his feet. So I think his own feet tackled him more than any Falcon did. It does bring up 3rd down.
3rd down and 5 for Mass Maritime, very much in the maroon zone, so you've got to think this is 4-down territory. Sansis comes in motion. Ebdon takes the snap, option pitch to the right. Long's got it, cuts up field. He is shoved out of bounds very close to the line. Long may be injured.
The chain gang had to run for their lives on that one.
Going to have to see what the spot is. I think the initial indication is that it'll be 4th down. We're going to mark him a good yard shy. And Matt Long is still down and being attended to on the far sideline. The officials take time out as they attend to Matt Long on the sideline. Gives us a chance to remind you folks, if you're here in Fitchburg, we absolutely encourage you to come on down for the 2nd half of action here at Elliott Field. And for those of you watching on FATV, fatv.org, or Fitchburg Access Television on Facebook, Stick around right here and you won't miss the wing-eating contest. Amanda Agassi will be hosting the action, a live wing-eating contest here at Elliott Field, all part of the festivities for homecoming. That's coming up at the end of this first half of action, but first there is the matter of 4th down and 2. 2 men in the backfield for Mass Maritime, and they take timeout. It's the first time of the first timeout of the half for the Buccaneers. Dan, this is a very big 4th down in terms of this game so far.
Absolutely. For Maritime, they want to get that first down, keep their drive going, try to equalize. And for Fitchburg, it was interesting on that last one, too, seeing the Falcons sort of all scramble into position there. So they were a bit unsure what the play was themselves, but Maritime was the ones who called the timeout.
And really, Dan, there hasn't been too much variety in terms of formation for Mass Maritime. They're going to come out with 2 running backs and a tight end and 2 wide receivers who they'll stack on one side of the field and just kind of leave there.
And for the most part, Maritime, it's like they're running more or less the same formation, just showing how much flexibility they have in running said formation.
4th down and 2 for the Buccaneers. Fake the handoff. Command comes on the end around. That's Paul Sanzis, and he gets a first down. Mass Maritime reaching deep into the playbook there. Take a look at this one, Dan.
Get the fake off there, and Sanzis running around on the end around. Found some daylight, then he ran out of bounds, but by the time he'd run out, he'd gotten the yards he needed. And now would you look at that? Maritime is in the red zone.
Sanzis was lined up in the near slot. It's just a very well-designed play, almost impossible to defend. Gives the Buccaneers first down. Ben Sheehan gets the carry. He's across the 15, mark him down at the 13-yard line. It's a gain of about 5 for the junior running back from Wilbraham.
Sheehan getting back into the game after the injury to Long. On first down, able to just find a hole to get a few yards from. He knows he doesn't have to get all 10 of them in one go. It helps, but it's not compulsory.
2nd down and 6 now for the Buccaneers. Man comes in motion. Play action fake. Ebdon looking to his right, throws to his right. Pass is low, but they're going to call it a catch. Catch is made, and then the receiver is immediately down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 2 for the Buccaneers. Let's take a look at this one.
Quick throw over the middle. I believe it's Colson Hammond who's able to hold that one down. Can't get the continuation in college football. You're down once you've got the knee down.
First catch of the day for Colson Hammond sets up the Buccaneers' 1st down and goal from the Falcon 2 as they look to tie this one up or perhaps take a lead. Handoff goes up to the Riddle, bounces out to the left. Nobody there. Touchdown, Ben Sheehan, and Mass Maritime is looking to tie this one up.
Just getting the yards they needed. Sheehan cuts to the left, and there's just nobody there. Maybe in that case, everyone committing to the right. Sheehan caught that, committed to the left.
Gets back to your old penalty kick adage. All the Falcons lined up on one side of the line. They hit that side of the line hard, but they didn't get to Sheehan, and he was able to bounce it out for the touchdown. Meanwhile, the 2-point conversion attempt.
It is blocked. 4th time this year the Falcons have blocked an extra point attempt.
So that's something the Falcons have going for them, and that is a big one. Keeps them in the lead here, 14-13, and Fitchburg State will get one more possession before they go into the locker rooms for halftime.
It has been an interesting contest thus far.
It certainly has. One thing I've noticed, Dan, the Falcons have had a couple of different quarterbacks warming up here on the near sideline. I don't know if they're just playing catch and keeping their arms ready, but I did see Caleb Quarantine throwing the ball around earlier. Now Connor Fitzsimons is doing that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Brandon Brown is talking with a member. No, actually, Brandon Brown is being attended to on the near sideline, so there may be an injury situation for the Falcon quarterback. Back to live action here. The kickoff is a very good one. Goes over the head of Chris Tamaketti and through the end zone for a touchback.
First touchback we've seen this year on FATV, I believe, and that will put the ball at the 25-yard line.
Had one at the Fitchburg High game I was part of the broadcast crew for. That would be last Friday's loss against Neshoba for the Red Raiders. But you're right, that is the first one we've had here at Elliott Field. And now as the Falcons take the field on 1st and 10, Connor Fitzsimons is the quarterback. Brandon Brown is still being tended to. Didn't really see where he got hurt, but he definitely got hurt. Handoff goes up the middle. Sterling Garvin, the ball carrier. Picks up a couple of yards. And now Fitchburg State, with their backup quarterback in, only 2 minutes to play, probably more than happy to hand this ball off 3 times and try to kick it away. Mass Maritime, of course, does have 2 timeouts, so they can stop the clock after 2nd and 3rd downs if they choose to do so. Second down handoff goes up the middle. Garvin's brought down after a gain of a yard. And Dan, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you're trying to run out the clock and you have your backup quarterback in,
Yes.
why are you snapping when there's 13 seconds left on the play clock?
Because you're not thinking much about the play clock, but then again, Mass Maritime isn't thinking too much about calling a timeout here either.
Fair point, fair point. Both teams probably a little content to go into the locker rooms with the score as it is. Again, Mass Maritime will receive the kickoff to start the 3rd quarter of play. Fitchburg State can't quite run out the clock for the half here. Unless they get a first down, of course, which Sterling Garvin just did. Takes that carry across the 40, finally dragged down at the 45-yard line. And they'll stop the clock, move the chains. Fitchburg State will have time. Fitchburg State will take a timeout, actually. It's their 2nd of the half.
Now that they've gotten those yards, they probably feel like they're a little more confident with where they are in the field, that it might be worth trying to have a go towards the end zone. As we know, they don't have a kicking game right now, or at least I don't think they do, but who knows?
We have not seen the Falcons even line up to go for a field goal or an extra point. And in the absence of their starting long snapper and their starting kicker, you have to think they're not going to do that all day. You see Brandon Brown there just holding an ice bag. I think it's something on his right hand, maybe the right thumb may have been injured.
And if he doesn't feel comfortable holding the football, throwing the football, then it's the right thing to have him on the sidelines here.
Falcons 1st and 10 at their own 44. Connor Fitzsimons is the quarterback. Fitzsimons back to pass, looking to his left, throwing to his left. Pass is incomplete. Looks like it was intended for Jesse Brown. Closest man to it was Cameron Stewart.
We do know that Fitzsimons is a little more comfortable with throwing downfield, but the accuracy a bit of a challenge. Last week when he came in relief of Brandon Brown, his first 5 passes were all incomplete. He was able to find targets on the last 4 and get a touchdown late in the contest. And the Falcons know that they do have to make some yards and quick if they won't have any chance of getting on the scoreboard before halftime.
Second down handoff goes straight up the middle to Sterling Garvin. Falcons maybe took their one shot downfield, and when that didn't work, they reverted to being more than fine with running out the rest of the clock. They'll have to snap it at least once more. And again, the Buccaneers have shown no inclination towards stopping them. So we'll probably get a quick snap, maybe a handoff, maybe a kneel, and then we'll all go in and take a break.
Now the Falcons will wait until the game clock says about 5 seconds and try a Hail Mary. But I think the more conservative play is probably the right one there. Falcons are going to run this clock all the way down to 2 seconds, just
just as the play clock expires, they call timeout. So maybe
That's
there
the
is a
last
Hail Mary
final
play here.
timeout. Yeah.
So it is the last timeout for Fitchburg, but then again, that's just making good value of your timeouts if you're using your last one with 2 seconds to go in the first half.
I mean, if you don't use them, they cease to exist. So you might as well use them.
You can't take them with you into the second half. You get 3 new ones, so might as well. And so that's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do here.
Timeouts are ethereal, as are we all. So 2 seconds left, and if Fitchburg State has a Hail Mary in the playbook, I think we're about to see it. They need 54 yards for a touchdown here. And the Hail Mary play is a handoff to the left side for Sterling Garvin, and he loses 4 yards.
Might as well have taken a knee if you're going to do that.
Not exactly full of grace was that Hail Mary for the Falcons. They'll head to the locker room leading this one, however, by a score of 14-13. But folks, don't forget, it is homecoming here at Elliott Field. There is a wing eating competition on the way. Amanda Agassi is going to be standing by with the full details of that. Danny Bolak and I are going to take a break, stretch our legs, get some fresh air, and we will have the second half of action for you coming up in just 20 minutes time. But stick around for the wing eating competition. That is going to be fun.
Hi everyone, happy halftime, and I'm joined by several Fitchburg State students for our first annual wing eating contest. Let me introduce the contestants.
I'm Maury. Wavell.
Maury and Wavo are about to show down right now. We have some boneless buffalo wings, and they have 4 each. Now the first person to finish their plate gets a nice Fitchburg State football t-shirt. Okay, that's what's at stake. Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out of the way. The first person to finish gets the t-shirt. Ready, set, go! Let's see it, let's see it. Oh, Maury, I think is gonna dominate this. Wavo, not that far behind. Maury has about 1.5 left. Wavo has 1. I don't think they're chewing, to be completely honest. Let's see it, guys. Who's got it? Can I get some crowd, please? Some cheers, please? Cheer them on. They gotta finish, they gotta finish. Let's see it, guys. Careful, though. We don't want any accidents over here. Let's see it, guys. Wavo, about to be on his last bite. Okay, I need to see finished mouths. Finished, completely finished. Let's see it. Hot wings, they're buffalo hot wings. Remember that. I see some tears. Maury. Maury's out. Maury's out? Yeah? You're good? Huevo! Winner! Hey! Nice job. Thank you for competing. You get a Fitchburg State t-shirt. Are you good? You good? Yeah? Do you have any words to say?
That shit was not trying to go down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
It's no worries.
Fitchburg State Falcons.
There you go. Thank you so much. Back up to you guys.
Homecoming coverage continues here from Elliott Field on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak, and we want to extend our thanks to Amanda Agassi for covering the wing eating competition. And as you can see there is still plenty to do, plenty to see here at Elliott Field. There's plenty of food, plenty of Falcon merchandise that you can only get here at homecoming. It is one of our favorite days of the year, and it's been a pretty good day on the field as well. Fitchburg State leading this one by a score of 14-13, Dan. And what do you think the Falcons need to do in order to hold on to their lead as we look at the third quarter of action here?
Well, they play pretty disciplined.
Take a breath, start over again. Dan, what do you think the Falcons need to do as we head into action here at the third quarter from Elliott Field?
They played a fairly disciplined first half. They didn't turn the ball over. Those are things that have always haunted the Falcons. They had the one hiccup on defense with a long, deep pass from Ty Ebdon to Paul Sansis. That was the 60-yard pass that opened the scoring in the first. The Falcons have to do better at reading those deep balls and trying to prevent them. But for the most part, they've held Maritime back in terms of passing. Besides that, 2 of 6 for 16 yards.
Yeah, really, other than that one 60-yard touchdown, it's been, and obviously this is a bit like saying other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? But other than the 160-yard touchdown pass, the Falcons really have done a good job of containing Ty Ebdon and the passing offense of Mass Maritime.
Absolutely, and you look at the running game, Benjamin Sheehan, 9 carries, 25 yards. Matt Long, 5 carries, 24 yards, but we saw him get hurt, so he's questionable to return. Ty Ebdon has run it himself twice for 9 yards. You look for the Falcons on their running game, Brendan Brown, 7 for 32 and the touchdown. Jaquay Solomon, 9 for 17. He also had the touchdown catch. They are calling that a catch, by the way. And Sterling Garvin, 8 for 16, although he lost a lot on that very last play, so grain of salt on that one.
Fitchburg State will kick it away as we get ready for the third quarter of action. Bubba Lynch's kick is away. This one is short, end over end, bounces at about the 30, taken in at the 25-yard line. This is one of the up men for the Buccaneers making the return, and he's drilled down at about the 30-yard line. We're going to give that return to Garrett White, the freshman from Fort Myers, on the return there for Mass Maritime. And really, Dan, on the offensive side of the ball for Fitchburg State, they have not been able to establish their running game with any real consistency other than, I would say, the second touchdown drive of the day.
Yes, I think would be the case, too. It's like for Brown, he had that one run for 22 yards, but other than that, 6 for 10. For the Falcons, it's been hard to crack this Maritime run defense. As we mentioned, very good coming into the game, averaging just 85 conceded a game.
Now on first down for Mass Maritime, they go straight up the middle. This is Ben Sheehan, the ball carrier. He's across the line of scrimmage, give him a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And even Sheehan, he's only getting about 3 yards a carry there. He has been struggling a little bit, not really been able to get much in terms of momentum.
Both of these defenses playing pretty well. Not perfectly, of course, but pretty well. And it might just come down to which one gets tired first and which one breaks.
Could very well be. And if the teams stick with the same number of touchdowns, it could come down to the special teams, the conversions, the extra points that will come into play.
2nd down, this pass to the near side is complete, and it was also thrown with the right hand, and that's a signal. John Teahan is into the game at quarterback for Mass Maritime. Teahan, the sophomore from Hyde Park, Mass, throws with the right hand as opposed to the left-handed Ebdon.
And Teahan doesn't really have much in terms of statistics to speak of coming into today. That was actually his first pass attempt of the season.
Well, his first pass of the season was enough for a Buccaneer first down. Now Sheehan gets the carry on first down. He's across the 50-yard line, breaks a tackle, and is brought down at the Falcon 44. And what was that we were saying about a defense breaking?
It was what it was. Big run for Mass Maritime. Gets a first down on that one as they're now inside the Falcon 45-yard line.
1st and 10 Buccaneers at the Fitchburg State 43-yard line. As they have all day, they go 2 backs, 2 wides, and a tight end. Handoff goes up the middle. It's a good run, 5, maybe 6 yards. Andrew DeCarteret on the carry. Believe that's DeCarteret's first carry of the day. It is. It's a gain of 6 for him.
I could have sworn he'd run it one other time, but yeah, they haven't really gone to DeCarteret that much, the senior from Nashua, New Hampshire.
2nd down, and we'll call it a long 4 for the Buccaneers. Run goes to the left side this time. I believe it's Sheehan on the carry. Sheehan's got about 2. It'll set up 3rd down and 2.
Suddenly Maritime's come out of the locker room. They're feeling a little more confident in their running game. And they are getting some nice runs here.
Falcons bring on a little more beef on the defensive line. Wendell Lubin heads into the game. He'll check in as an extra defensive lineman here on 3rd down and 2. Snap is fumbled. Quarterback just barely manages to pick it up, but there was nothing Teahan could do. So Mass Maritime switches signal callers, and they cross signals on 3rd down. What was a promising 3rd down and 2, as we see here, he just dropped that snap.
Looked like he was trying to get the handoff there for Sheehan, and he just couldn't get the transfer cleanly enough. And Maritime is going to punt from here.
It's 4th and 7. I don't hate this. Kevin Quinn set back deep to return. Good snap this time. Spiraling punt bounces at the 10, and it's going to roll very close to the goal line. The officials are going to signal it did cross the goal line for a touchback. So Fitchburg State will get the ball at their own 25-yard line. It's a net of just 15 on the punt. And now, Dan, as the Falcon offense comes out on the field, all eyes will be on the quarterback situation for Fitchburg State. I think Brandon Brown is going to return because Connor Fitzsimons is not wearing a helmet.
Can't play without a helmet. He's got the backward hat on. So.
And it is Brandon Brown coming back out at quarterback for Fitchburg State. Had an injury, I believe, to his right hand, maybe the thumb, in the first half. We'll see how comfortable he is gripping the ball here. 1st and 10 Falcons, play action fake, pass to the right side is complete. And as if testing that a hand in the throwing arm, Brandon Brown finds Jesse Brown. It's a gain of 10 yards and a first down.
We've seen so little of that today, the throw over the middle. And on the first try, after you leave the game with what could have been a hand injury, you come back in, and the first time in, you try to throw it over the middle, something we've only seen once or twice today, and it's a successful throw. He finds his favorite target in Jesse Brown, and the Falcons, just like that, get a first down.
Brandon Brown had a very accurate first half, although not very productive in terms of yardage. 6 for 7, but just 30 yards in total. Picks up 10 there. Now 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 30-yard line. Trip receivers to the left side. Quick pass to the left is complete. Jesse Brown, the catch. Dodging out of tackles. He's across the 35. Mark him down at about the 37-yard line.
So once again, a quick swing pass. They throw to the left side. And again, Jesse Brown pulling in another reception. The Brown-to-Brown reception, or the Brown-to-Brown connection.
Dang it, Danny, we're not going to get this catchphrase over if you can't commit to it.
I just got to get it right. I just haven't gotten it yet.
2nd down and 3 now for Fitchburg State. Play action fake, pass to the near side is complete. Kevin Quinn the catch. He's across the 40 to the 45 and driven out of bounds there. So Fitchburg State mixing it up on offense, going through the air, and they have another first down.
As we mentioned, Maritime's pass defense not the greatest in the world, and right now mostly confident with the swing passes, but do what works. Quinn with a nice stiff arm at the very end there.
Fitchburg State sticking with 4 wide receivers, Trips on one side and only August on the near. Brown back to pass, now over the middle. That pass is high, but it is brought down. Jesse Brown leaped into the air to make that catch, and it's another first down for the Falcons.
Maybe a little high on that one, but when your target is 6 feet 2 inches tall, that's not as much of a problem, and Jesse Brown able to use his reach, use his height to pull that one in. They're into Buccaneer territory.
Went up into the air and full extension, but he was able to bring it down. Fitchburg State is on the move, moving entirely through the air. 1st and 10 now at the Mass Maritime 38. Play action fake, Brown throws to the left, that pass is complete. Jesse Brown the catch, but they go Brown to Brown one more time, and I think it's going to be good for another Fitchburg first down.
The thing that surprised me on that throw was how open Jesse Brown seemed to be. It didn't look like there was anybody close enough to really break that up. A quick throw over, and there you see it. There wasn't anyone. You pause it at the moment that Brown pulls in the ball. There's no other Buccaneer in the frame.
It feels like, Dan, on every first down, Mass Maritime says to themselves, okay, this time they're going to run it, and the Falcons haven't done that yet. 1st and 10 once again at the 26 of Mass Maritime. Brown calling signals. Takes the snap. Quick pass to the left is complete. Guess who? It's Jesse Brown. It's across the line of scrimmage to the 25, down to the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 7. And we have an injured Buccaneer.
Just look at the throw again. A quick throw to the left side. cuts back up parallel to the sideline, gets past the 25-yard line.
The women's lacrosse hot dog cart has just reduced the price of dogs to $1 a dog. You heard me correctly. That's $1 for $1.
Checking on the Buccaneer player. He's got a bit of a cramp. They're trying to stretch that leg out.
Additionally, we do have a winner today. Fitchburg State Athletic Department 50-50.
Dan, I just heard they have dollar dogs for the lacrosse team, and that sounds very nice.
The prize today is $150.
Does sound very appetizing.
While we have a moment here, we want to give thanks as well to the all-volunteer crew at FATV, the employees of FATV, some kids from the video production classes as well, and of course the volunteers. Our director is John Dextres, lead engineer is Travis Falk. Travis is also handling replay for us today, and we have a whole host of camera operators. Danny will run that down for you in just a moment, but as we focus ourselves back on live action, Dan, Fitchburg State has been moving the ball through the air here. They face now 2nd down and 7.
Yep, it was Camille Bach who was hurt, by the way, on that last play. Helped off the field. We'll hope he's all right.
2nd down and 7 for Fitchburg State. Brown from the shotgun takes the snap. Handoff goes up the middle. Sterling Garvin's got a 1st down and more. He's across the 10-yard line. It looks like they're going to mark him down there. And after so many passes through the air, Fitchburg State finally goes to the ground, and they're able to pick up a 1st down. Take a look at this one.
So this time they commit to the run after the injury. There is another injury on a Mass Maritime player. Looks like Hunter LaVille. But big 14-yard gain by Sterling Garvin.
And while we have a moment, Dan, why don't we give thanks to our camera operators here doing a fantastic job as always.
A lot of camera crew today. Matt Carroll, Charlie Ollis, Jonah Yanis, Chris Fonikowski, Evan Burns, Matt Murdoka, and Katrin Nobauer, all helping us out here today.
That's Jonah down there on the sideline. Got to meet Jonah for the first time today. You know, that's one of the things I've really come to appreciate in my time here at FATV. You know, there are some guys, you know, John Dextres, Travis, myself, Dan, we've been here forever and a day, but there's also always new faces. There are always new folks coming in, new folks wanting to volunteer their time, wanting to earn some credit for a college class, just wanting to be part of the broadcast crew, and we always appreciate it.
We also see Amanda Agassi down there, who's been our sideline reporter, has done excellent today.
And that's, I believe, Chris Fondakowski to her left on the camera. But we're going to focus ourselves back on the football game here. 1st and goal, Falcons at the 10-yard line. Play action, throw to the right is complete. Brown to Brown, touchdown Falcons. Just like that. It's that simple.
You wonder why they don't put double coverage or much of any coverage on Jesse Brown. But Brandon just keeps throwing to him. Jesse keeps hauling him in. And just like that, touchdown Falcons.
It's as though Mass Maritime is challenging the Falcons, saying, what can Brown do for you? Well, that is what Brown can do for Fitchburg State. And again, the Falcons, short a kicking game, they will eschew the extra point and go for 2 here. Try to make this a 2-score game at 22-13. Snap goes to Brown. Quick pass to the right side is complete, and the 2-point conversion is good. And I don't know if anyone on the Mass Maritime sideline is tuned into FATV right now, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint for the rest of the second half. Cover the slot receiver. Or don't. They'll just put more points on the board.
In that case, it was Kevin Quinn who pulled in the 2-point conversion. And so the Falcons have now made it a 2-possession game. 7:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. Fitchburg State 22, Mass Maritime 13.
And Dan, before we returned to the broadcast, just during halftime, you and I were talking, and I said there were 2 things that the Falcons needed to show in order to have a really strong chance of winning this game. They needed Brandon Brown to come back healthy, and they needed to throw the ball through the air. That's what I said, isn't it?
That is exactly what you said off the air.
Well, as we take a look at it here, look at this. Brandon Brown came back healthy. They went through the air. Touchdown Falcons. It's as though I'm smart or something. No, that can't be right. Bubba Lynch's kick is away. taken in at about the 15-yard line. Across the 30 to the 35-yard line.
Sheehan was the ball carrier on that one, got about 20 or so yards. A good run back for the Buccaneers. They'll start from the 35. And Maritime's going to go back to Tien at quarterback.
Wonder if maybe there was an injury that we just weren't aware of, or if they just really weren't happy with the performance of Ty Ebden. As we said, he was just 3 out of 7 in the first half.
He did hit that home run pass.
Play action fake. Maritime was looking for another home run. Tien gets rid of it. I think they're going to say there was a receiver in the area. Really a good job by Tien. He was going for the deep ball and then looked like he was going to get sacked. But he was able to get that pass off roughly in the area of Andrew DeCarteret, and he was able to avoid a big loss.
But yeah, again, interesting. We're seeing Tien. He is a sophomore for the Buccaneers. But like I said, didn't have any stats coming into today. Sophomore from Hyde Park, attended Boston Latin Academy.
2nd down and 10 for the Buccaneers. Play action fake. Tien in a lot of trouble, throws to his left. That pass is intercepted. Picked off for the Falcons. Keambu Jones with the pick.
Maritime's been very good at not turning it over. That is, in fact, only their 6th turnover of the season. Only their 2nd interception conceded. And Tien, he was just in trouble the whole time. He tried to get rid of it like he did last time, but he didn't do enough to get rid of it, and it went right into the hands of Jones.
You said it perfectly, Dan. Tien was just trying to get rid of that one. He had Donovan Gray bearing down on him, and he tried to just throw it away to the left side. He couldn't get enough on the pass, and Keambu Jones was right there. And now, all of a sudden, the Falcons have excellent field position inside the 30-yard line, looking to go up by 3 scores halfway through this 3rd quarter of play.
And one thing I know I haven't double-checked yet, but a thought that came to my mind, have the Falcons even led by 2 scores this season?
On 1st down, Brown will pass. Now he's going to carry it himself. Gets a block, running to the left. He's got a 1st down and more. He's across the 15 and knocked down at about the 10-yard line. Brandon Brown picks up 17 yards. Just in case you forgot that the Falcons can run the ball as well.
And Brandon Brown has been exceptionally good at calling his own number. That's the one thing that the Maritime run defense has not accounted for. A mobile quarterback such as Brandon Brown who could find routes. And as we can see him just keep changing direction, getting and fighting for yards.
And that time an excellent downfield block by Sterling Garvin, spraying his quarterback for even more yardage. Going to mark him just down at the 11-yard line, so it's actually 1st and 10 now for Fitchburg State. Handoff goes to Garvin on the left side. He's got the line pushing him one way, but the Buccaneer defensive line pushing him the other. It's a net gain of about 2 yards before he's driven backward.
They'll get him across into the 10-yard line now. As we said, a couple of yards there just ended up being another tug of war, a rugby maul, and a couple of yards gained ultimately for Sterling Garvin. But right now, the running game for the Falcons has actually been the best when Brown calls his own number.
2nd down and 8 coming up for Fitchburg State. They come out once again with trips receivers, this time to the near side. August set up alone on the far side. Quick pass to the right side is complete. Kevin Quinn the catch. Ducks out of one tackle, dodges another, plunges forward. He's across the 5-yard line to maybe, actually he's very close to the goal line by that spot. I think they're going to mark him down at about the 3. We'll take another look at this one. It's a quick pass to the right side. Quinn gets one block there from Brown and ducks out of a tackle. So he's across the 5 there and brought down at about the 4-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 3. The ball spotted at the 4. Sterling Garvin in the backfield. And Garvin will get the carry running to his right. He's got guys pushing him. He's pushing. He's going to be spotted down. Definitely not a touchdown. He's close to the line to gain. I think they're going to mark him about a yard short, and it'll be 4th down and 1.
Definitely be grueling for Maritime if they're not able to stop the Falcons. If they can just get that yard, the Falcons will have 4 more chances if they can just get 1 more yard. But of course, if they get a couple more than that, then they'll have the 6.
So now 4th down and a yard. Handoff goes straight up the middle. Sterling Garvin plunges through. He's definitely got a 1st down. He's got a touchdown. 6 points on the board for the Falcons.
1 to get a 1st, 1 more to get 6. And indeed it is 6 for the Falcons. Sterling Garvin able to punch it in.
And Dan, this 3rd quarter of play could not have possibly gone better for Fitchburg State. Their defense gets a stop. Their offense marches down the field, passing it through the air, which is something we haven't seen them do all year, really, and get a touchdown that way. Then the defense forces a turnover, and the offense capitalizes on that. Now they're looking to go up 30-13. Brown will pass, throws to his right, pass is swatted away and incomplete. Very well defended there by the Buccaneers. Looks like that was Kobe Williamson on the coverage.
Just a quick throw to the right side, and that time Brown in about double coverage that time, so they did put guys on him at that point. It's a bit late for that, but they do get the stop there. The 2-point conversion's no good. Falcons are 2 for 4 on the 2-point conversions. And I mentioned on the first drive of this second half that Mass Maritime was coming out feeling pretty confident in the run game. The Falcons feel pretty confident in the pass game, and it is showing.
Really the most confidence we've seen from the Falcon throwing attack all season, especially in terms of sustained completions. We've seen Brandon Brown hit a couple of deep passes downfield, but we haven't really seen the continual completion after completion after completion that we've seen from him on the last couple of drives. Bubba Lynch's kick is away, taken in at about the 15-yard line. Trying to get something on the return. Finally driven out at about the 35-yard line. That's Braven Bowes. Not to be confused with his cousin, Steven Sennheiser.
That's a joke that went right over my head.
It's a joke for the guys in the truck. They're audio companies. They make headphones, stereos, things like that.
Sorry that I made you spell out the joke.
It's fine. It made Travis laugh, so I'm happy. 1st down, Buccaneers at their own 35-yard line. Handoff goes to Sheehan on the right side. And he is brought down after a gain of nothing. And now, Dan, we really have to see how much faith Mass Maritime has in their sophomore quarterback, John Tian, especially after he turned the ball over on the last possession.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the first drive, we saw Mass Maritime go with the running game, and it seemed to work all right for them. But then, on the second drive, an incomplete pass that was thrown away and then an incomplete pass that was intercepted.
Play action fake on 2nd down, passes over the middle and complete. Catch made there by Paul Sansis. It's good for a Buccaneer 1st down. And that time, Dan, we saw Tian went play action even though his running back had already split out. So again, maybe a lack of communication between quarterback and running back. 1st and 10 Bucks at their own 46-yard line. Play action again. Pass to Sansis is complete. He's into Falcon territory and brought down at the 40. Javon White on the tackle for Fitchburg State. But the Buccaneers are moving.
Sansis came into this game with 17 catches from 3 contests. It's probably fair to say that, like Brandon Brown has been throwing to Jesse Brown, you should assume that whoever's going to be taking the snaps for Mass Maritime is probably going to be looking first and foremost to Paul Sansis, the senior from Middleborough.
Buccaneers now 1st and 10 at the Falcon 40-yard line. Handoff goes to the right side, breaks out a 1 tackle. lunging across the 35-yard line to about the 34. It's Andrew DeCarteret once again.
DeCarteret with a nice run, gets about 7 on that one. And I also wanted to mention, Mass Maritime has had 3 different quarterbacks take snaps, throw the football this season in their first 3 games. So it's interesting they go to John Tian, who, as we said, hadn't thrown the ball, hadn't seemed to have played in the first 3 contests.
It's an active competition for the backup job at Mass Maritime. 2nd down and 3. Handoff goes to the near side. It's Sheehan again. It's brought down close to the 30. I think they're gonna. Officials are going to ultimately move the chains. It was very close, but it will be 1st and 10 now for the Buccaneers.
Maritime 1st and 10 from the Fitchburg 30.
I can also tell you, looking at the sideline for Mass Maritime, that Ty Ebdon is standing on the sideline. He does have his helmet on. He looks like he's fit to play. It's just a coach's decision that they've put Tian in.
From the 30 now, play action fake. Tian throws to his right, double coverage, but the pass is there. Incomplete, however. Was intended for, you'll never believe it, but it's Paul Sansis.
Once again, as we said, probably look to Sansis first and foremost. After all, in terms of the number of receptions today, you've got the receptions from Sansis, then you have Colson Hammond's catch, Will Bennett's catch, and that's it.
Now on 2nd down for the Buccaneers. Sheehan will get the carry again. He plunges into the line. He's got about 3 yards. I think Fitchburg State is going to be more than happy to let him do that, though.
It feels like the more I'm watching this Mass Maritime offense, the more it feels like there's a lot of parallels to the circumstances that Fitchburg has had to deal with. With Brandon Brown having trouble finding more than one receiver, just in Jesse Brown and Kevin Quinn. Again, it's only one receiver they can seem to trust.
Tian looked like he was going to carry it this time, but he finds Sansis over the middle. Sansis is near the goal line. He is brought down. No, they're going to give him the touchdown. Touchdown, Mass Maritime. Paul Sansis with a great catch and run. It is worth noting there is a flag down at the 20-yard line.
It's not going to count. I think they called ineligible downfield. It's also possible that he threw over the line of scrimmage.
Are we going to get an official announcement, or? I saw the signal.
I don't believe he turned his microphone on when he made the announcement.
That's all right. So it was an ineligible man downfield, takes away the touchdown, and will instead set up 3rd down and 12 for Mass Maritime. They need to get to the Falcon 20-yard line. And now whistles kill the play. The Buccaneers take their first time out of the 2nd half.
I think with that close to making it back to a 1-score game, Mass Maritime was. They had that touchdown, but unfortunately the ineligible man took it away from them, and now they're a bit discombobulated now. 15 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 15 points.
And really, Dan, getting back to the play that was called back, it was just a weird looking play. Tian took the snap and he looked for a moment as though he was running with the ball by himself. He got very close to the line of scrimmage before he pulled back and released that ball. That may have contributed to the confusion.
Yeah, it's quite possible that could have sent one of the linemen downfield thinking it was going to be for sure a run, so he started blocking, but instead it was a pass, and by then he was too far downfield in an unacceptable location for the rules of football.
So now 3rd down and 12 for the Buccaneers. Play action fake, Tian back to pass, looking over the middle. That pass is intercepted, picked off again by the Falcons. This time it's Nolan Creont Baird with the interception. And thus far, Dan, the John Teahan experiment is not working for the Buccaneers. 2 possessions, 2 interceptions.
The Fitchburg native, Nolan Creont Baird, getting the interception. And that ball thrown over the middle, and Creont Baird was the man with the best view of all to haul that one in and bring a startling end to the Buccaneer drive.
And a startling end to what has been an incredible third quarter, of action for the Falcons. They're going to get one more playoff before we officially put an end to this quarter. Brandon Brown, the quarterback, Jaquay Solomon is in at tailback, and Solomon will get the carry. Cuts to his right side. He's across the 20-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 21 after a gain of about 4 yards. And Dan, that takes us to the end of what has to be the best quarter of football Fitchburg State has played all season.
Absolutely. 2 touchdowns, able to play strong defense, force 2 turnovers. If that is a quarter you can hang your hat on.
And really, it's working on every side of the ball for the Falcons right now. The thing that has stopped them offensively all season has been an inability to throw the ball, and we saw a little bit of it in the first half just with the accurate little swing passes. But in that third quarter, Brandon Brown was going over the middle a little bit more downfield. And once you do that, once you open up this Buccaneer defense, I mean, they're Buccaneers. They're guarding treasure, and that treasure is the end zone.
And the Falcons, they've been pilfering that treasure. Jesse Brown now has 10 receptions on the day for 79 yards. And the touchdown. Kevin Quinn's got 3 for 15 through the air. Jaquay Solomon has the touchdown catch on that slant pass. Brandon Brown, 14 for 15, only 99 yards through the air today.
But you'll take it.
Absolutely. Some strong accuracy there. So now the start of the fourth quarter. The Falcons leading by 15 points. 2nd and 7. They go with the handoff. It's Solomon trying to find the flank. He finds it. He makes a spin move around the 30-yard line. He'll be tackled there. The lineman goes down as well. There is a flag on the play. It's already been indicated against Fitchburg.
So this one is coming back. We'll see if we can see the foul here. Saw plenty of stuff there that could be called holding, but it is a truism. You could call holding on any play. So it's just a question of what the officials see and what they decide to call. This time they're going to pull the Falcons back. So really, Dan, Fitchburg State leading this one 15 points, a score of 28-13. And their offense, which had been so effective moving the ball through the air, they now force the decision, do you continue throwing it, or do you go back to that running game that hasn't really worked in an attempt to burn some time off the clock?
It does lead to an interesting conundrum, as Brown will look to throw. He's going to air it out on the near side. That's way too far. He was looking for Anthony Santiago.
First time today we've called Santiago's number. And really, Dan, that pass, it looked as though it's not a bad design on a play call. You go play action and then go for the home run. But Brown really never had time to set his feet, so he was just trying to get all arm into that ball, and it sailed on him, and he was a bit lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, just trying to force that one a little bit and just trying to make sure he had enough to at least get a decent throw off, but ended up being a little too strong in an incompletion. So 3rd down and 16 it'll be. 2 receivers to the near side. Solomon remains in the backfield and a receiver on the far. Brown looking around, looking on the left side, throws overthrew it for Kevin Quinn, and it was nearly picked by Hunter Lavelle.
Hunter Lavelle is going to be seeing that play in his nightmares. That pass hit him right on the hands, and it was a chance to not only turn the ball over, but to maybe get 6 points out of it. You take a look at it again here. Brown rolls to his left. Again, he doesn't have time to set his feet. He just kind of chucks it. And Lavelle got a hand on it, but wasn't able to bring that one in. And now Fitchburg State will kick it away.
So for the second time today, it's Bubba Lynch who will have to punt from his own end zone. had a go at trying to block that one. It'll be fair caught for at the 50-yard line or thereabouts by Paul Sansis.
It's a good punt by Bubba Lynch. Been really impressed with his leg strength today. You know, the consistency isn't quite there, which is to be expected. You know, he's by no means the full-time punter, hasn't had full punting practice, but what he's had, he has some really strong leg strength, and he has shown that on display today.
It's helping the Falcons a lot, and the kickoff game has been there as well. He's been placing it, 55 yards downfield, which is about as far as Santos was able to kick it anyway. And so it works out well enough. I mean, he's been a serviceable reserve. I mean, does he have the extra point strength? We don't really know. They don't trust him to do that yet, but Tien will try to scramble on first down. He's got nowhere to go, and he's going to lose about 10 yards.
I think it's Lendl Lubin who gets credit for the sack ultimately. You see Lubin there, number 99, comes barreling in, sends Tien running for his life.
And Lubin is on the ground as well now. He is in pain.
And Dan, getting back to your point about the extra point and the field goal kicking for Fitchburg State, I don't know what part of the equation the Falcons are unsure about, because really due to injuries and the way they had everything structured, every part of that equation is in flux right now. You've got Bubba Lynch doing the kicking, and due to the injury to Kyrie Watford, Connor Fitzsimons is the long snapper. But Fitzsimons had been the holder on field goals and extra points for the Falcons. I would presume that that duty falls then to Brandon Brown, but that is me making a presumption, and I don't know how much of a play, how much practice Brandon Brown has had in that effect, and he is listed, as you pointed out to me, as the backup holder on the depth chart. I don't know how much that means right now.
It's one of those things, as in well, actually, this is a great run by Benjamin Sheehan there. He gets back all the yards that they lost on the first down play and most of what they needed for the first down. But I guess as it was saying there, it was just like how listing Kyrie Watford on the 2-deep depth chart as the reserve punter is one of those in case of fire, break glass things.
Indeed.
And it's one of those things you hope you never have to go to on your depth chart. It's there in case you need it, but you hope you never have to use it.
And now we're going to the guy after him on the depth chart.
We had no idea that was going to happen until we came here to Elliott Field today. And on third down, Sheehan unable to replicate the magic, and he loses a couple of yards.
I think this has got to be 4-down territory for Mass Maritime if they want to have any hope of winning this game. And they are keeping their offense out on the field.
I don't think they have a choice. They've got to do it. Already 1 for 2 on fourth down today. They need 5 yards. They must get to the Falcon 40. A nice neat line on the field for them to aim as a target. Tien steps up, throws. It is going to be complete. They found Sansis. I believe he's short.
He was well short, and I have no idea why Sansis didn't cut that reception upfield. He made the catch. He had time to take 3 or 4 steps running laterally to the line to gain. I mean, take a look at it here, Dan. Plenty of time to throw. There's the completion. Sansis never cuts upfield.
And the other thing is, as I just mentioned, the way that the sticks were positioned, the 40 was the target. There was an actual line on the field for him to aim for. He could have reached across as if that was the goal line for a touchdown. Instead, that was the line for a first down. He did not do it. He may not have been aware of it. If he had done it, he would have gotten the first. He didn't do it. It's a turnover on downs.
And now Fitchburg State has a chance to put this one away.
Delayed handoff. It is Sterling Garvin. And Garvin's got a big run here. Sterling Garvin, 20, 10, 5, pushed out of bounds just short of the goal line.
I love that play call so much. I don't think I can properly explain how much I love that play call, but I freaking love that play call.
Let's have a good look at it again.
So the Falcons have been moving the ball through the air excellently throughout the entire second half. They make it look like it's a pass out to the right side. It's a delayed handoff going left, and there's nobody there. Sterling Garvin had all the time in the world. Finally, a Buccaneer defender has the angle to push him out of bounds, but it sets up Fitchburg State first and goal inside the 5-yard line and forces the Buccaneers to burn their second timeout just to catch their breath.
11:53 to go in the fourth, and the Falcons trying to put their foot down, up by 15 points. Now let's have a look ahead to the games that are upcoming here on Fitchburg Access Television.
Absolutely. Our next telecast will be this Friday, October the 5th. The Red Raiders of Fitchburg taking on a fine institution in Marlboro High School. An excellent football team, those Panthers will be, as they come to historic Crocker Field. Our next Falcon telecast is also a Friday, October the 12th. It's Friday night football from Elliott Field as the Falcons take on Westfield State.
We'll pause there as the Falcons go for it on first and goal from the 4. It's a handoff to Sterling Garvin, trying to push forward. They blew the whistle pretty quickly on that. They had no confidence he was going to get any more momentum than that.
Probably.
So he gets about a couple of yards on that one.
Garvin will head to the sidelines. We saw Jaquay Solomon check in.
So what else have we? So we got Westfield, and then it's going to be Groton Dunstable the week after. So
another Fitchburg High game, Friday, October the 19th against Groton Dunstable.
Yeah, so 3 consecutive Friday night games here on FATV. They go to Solomon. He cuts back up the middle, tries to dive for the end zone. It's going to be close, but he's not going to get there. He'll be down around the 1-yard line.
We are not back on college football Saturday until Saturday, October the 27th, as the Falcons host WestCon. And that, I believe, will be Senior Day.
It is.
Here at Elliott Field.
That'll be the last one. Then a couple potential consolation games for the Red Raiders.
And then, of course, Thanksgiving. It's coming. Donald.
Fitchburg, Leominster, someone has to win.
That's mean. Don't be mean.
Someone will win.
Probably.
And, wow, that's a cross up there. And honestly, Solomon and Brown basically both held on to it at the same time. They never really did get the release off, and it's going to be 4th down.
And I think the Falcons sideline is ecstatic. Are they ecstatic because they're sending out the field goal team? I just saw the Falcons sideline start cheering and jumping up and down.
Don't really know what happened there.
So the Falcons will go for it on 4th down.
And maybe because Kenny Richards is going to be taking the snap on this one. We saw him play the fullback role against Cortland. And a timeout by Maritime. They want nothing to do with that.
So Fitchburg State sends out big number 34, Kenny Richards.
6'1", 230 from Lawrence. And they were going to try to punch it in.
Falcon sideline was happy with the call.
I mean, they were smelling it. They wanted it.
So Dan, Mass Maritime just burned their last timeout. They have no more timeouts left.
And that's a problem considering how much they'd been struggling, to get their formations up and whatever, to burn all their timeouts, just trying to get on the same page and everything. Now they've got none more left. Falcons aren't going to change anything, though. They're going to bring Kenny Richards back in. Give him that opportunity. Let's see what they do. 4th down. They're going to give it to him. Oh, whistles. There was a flag.
I think there was plenty of false starts happening. The right guard, the right tackle. The whistles blew before the ball was even snapped.
And looking at how that play was going to develop, I don't think he was going to score either.
It actually works out as a break for the Falcons.
It actually does. That's a good penalty.
Sure.
Apparently.
As it worked out, yeah. Ooh. It's a false start and a personal foul indicated on the Falcons. And if that personal foul is a dead ball foul, they're both going to count.
So they're going to bring it all the way back to the 22-yard line.
So now it is 4th and goal for Fitchburg State at the 22-yard line.
And I think at that point, you're not really thinking exactly of a touchdown. You may actually be thinking of try to make a completion and get as many yards as you can.
15-yard Brandon Brown food punt.
Let's see what they do. They've got 2 in the backfield. They had to take Richards out. Can't really punch it in from 22 away. Brown's going to look to pass. He's going to throw towards the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. They were looking for Jesse Brown, but the coverage was there this time.
Excellent blanket coverage by the Buccaneers. Brown got a hand on that ball, wasn't able to pull it in. Fitchburg State turns it over on downs.
So let's have a look at it again.
Brown just kind of floats that one up and lets it go. And Brown got fingertips on it, but he wasn't able to bring it in.
The man back there, I think it might have been Cameron Stewart, who had him wrapped up there.
So now for Mass Maritime, they find themselves, yes, they've gotten the ball back, but they're down by 2 touchdowns. They have 9 minutes and no timeouts with which to work.
On first down, they'll go with the run. And getting a few yards on the run up the middle are the Buccaneers. It is Benjamin Sheehan yet again.
We've seen a lot of Sheehan. He hasn't really had a big run. He's been consistently 2.5, 3.5 yards, somewhere in there.
Coming into this drive, 17 for 68 on the ground. That's 4 yards a carry, which is right in line with how he normally does, about 3.8 a carry, averaging through the first 3 games of this season. Tien will look to pass on second down, throws to the left side. That one is tipped and incomplete. Javon White had the coverage for the Falcons.
He was trying to find Sansas. I think he did find Sansas. Sansas just wasn't able to bring it in.
It looked like Javon White was able to reach over on top of him and pull that one away. Let's look at the replay.
It was kind of a jump ball situation. Sansas was there. Javon White was there as well. Definitely got at least a hand on that ball.
Sansas 5 feet 11 inches tall. Javon White is 5'10". So Sansas had the slight advantage in the height department. It already brings up 3rd down and 7 to go for Maritime. They've struggled on 3rd down. As Tien will look, quick throw over the middle, and it was nearly picked off by Jared Citizen.
Citizen was the only man there. I think he was trying to find Sansas, who was a good 10 yards further downfield, but Jared Citizen was right there. And he's not wearing all green. There's some yellow there. You'd think you would see him.
And so, again, Tien struggling on the passes.
And you see Citizen there just banging his fists in frustration. He had a pick for sure, and he wasn't able to make it.
So the punt away. They'll let it go. There's also a flag on the play. As the ball will roll out of bounds at around the 42-yard line, and we will see what the flag is after the punt by Lampros. It was 7 to gain, so a penalty against Fitchburg for 5 would not give them a first down. 15 would. And did you see anything that looked like a 15-yard penalty there?
I certainly did not. I heard some speculation that the Falcons may have been offside, but there is, in fact, a personal foul indicated against Fitchburg State. So we just didn't see it, but it's a big play. Gives the Buccaneers 15 yards and a first down. You see Asante Easter, one of the defensive coaches for the Falcons, talking it over with the head linesman.
Well, as we said, it's like unless it's 15 yards, it wasn't going to give them a first down, but it was 15 yards for what we do not know. But regardless, the Falcons did a thing they shouldn't have done. It's the second time in this quarter they've done that. It's not helping.
Gives the Maritime new life.
Throw over the middle. That's incomplete. Way too low for Sansis. They would have to dig a hole to find that one.
Tien just hasn't been able to get in rhythm. Obviously, the 2 interceptions, but even beyond that, the accuracy just has not been there for the sophomore QB.
So 8:10 to go in the fourth quarter, 2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers. Again, with 2 in the backfield, Tien will pass. He'll throw left side. This is complete. And it's Sheehan who makes the catch. And he finds a lot of daylight on the far sideline.
Sheehan making something out of nothing there. Looked like he was going to be brought down basically after no gain, but instead he's able to dance his way for a first down.
Just a lot of space on the far sideline. And that flank pass a lot more successful than it had any right to be. It's over a 20-yard gain. Tien's got time. He's going for the home run pass. That's too far. He wanted to find Will Bennett, but he put about 5 yards too much on that throw.
Mass Maritime now moving with some urgency, as is their right. They're down 15 points almost halfway through this fourth quarter of action. Not quite in a situation where if they don't score on this drive, it's absolutely over. But it would certainly be that much harder if they can't get points on the board.
And as we mentioned, all those defensive hiccups. They don't have any timeouts to work with. Sheehan running to the left side, thrown to the ground after a gain of about 3.
Buccaneers keep going with that ground game, trying to keep the Falcons honest at least. Hasn't really been productive, and it keeps the clock moving.
Of course, they've been looking primarily to Sheehan as their running target. To Carteret on the field as well. They haven't given to him. They play action to him. Throw a short pass that's incomplete.
And now once again, the Buccaneers find themselves in 4th down. And, well, I know what I would do. I don't know what they're going to do.
Got to go for it in this case. Just not enough time. Buccaneers are 1 for 3 on 4th down today. And after that incompletion, now 1 for 9 on 3rd. Must get inside the 29. And this pass is complete to Bennett. He's able to stay in bounds, and he keeps the drive alive for Mass Maritime.
By the skin of their teeth, the Buccaneers are staying in this one. They got a personal foul on the first 4th down of this drive, and this pass is very nearly swatted away.
DeMonte Hart nearly being able to make the play. Now back to live action, play action. Tien throws, far side, touchdown!
That was the best looking pass Tien has thrown all day. It comes at a great time for him. Finds Colson Hammond, the freshman tight end out of Auburn. Stumbled a little bit before he threw that one, but he did get it away. He was able to hit Hammond in the hands in stride. And now the Buccaneers will go for the extra point here, trying to make it an 8-point game.
Had their last one blocked. They need this to make it a 1-score game. They won't get it! It's blocked. They take him down. 5th time this year the Falcons have blocked an extra point.
There is a flag down on the field. There's a flag down on the near sideline at about the 3-yard line, basically thrown at the line of scrimmage by the linesman. The early indication, I believe, offside against the Falcons. Mass Maritime's going to get another chance.
And suddenly, the Falcons have lost their discipline. So they blocked it, but they blocked it illegally.
And they're still going to kick the extra point. Oh, my God.
So they'll try it again. And they get it. 6:43 to go in the fourth quarter. 28 for Fitchburg, 20 for Mass Maritime.
And now coming up for the Falcons, unless the Buccaneers get a little tricky and go for an onside kick, this may be, I can't say that because they had the possible game-winning drive against Worcester State that fell just short, but this is going to be one of the most important offensive possessions of the season thus far for Fitchburg State.
To think on the last drive, the Falcons had it basically at the 2-yard line, right on the doorstep. Then they take the false start and the personal foul. Suddenly they're backed up. They give the Buccaneers the ball at the Buccaneers 22, and they're able to march downfield. They get a first down thanks to another personal foul, and then they block the extra point, but not legally due to them, I guess, jumping the line. And they're definitely looking like they're going to do an onside kick. They will do an onside kick. It's not a very good one. Falcons recover it. Looks like Bellevue was the one who was able to get on top of that one.
So Fitchburg State's offense will take over 1st and 10 at the Buccaneer 45-yard line. And obviously, with 6:42 to go, figuring the Falcons will be taking their time here, any kind of points puts this game away. And 2 or 3 first downs goes a long, long way as well.
And once again, we remind you, Mass Maritime has no timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. First down, swing pass. Ooh, that was dangerous. It is caught. It's going to be a loss of 5 yards, but it is caught.
That is very far from the worst thing that could have happened.
Or was it caught? Maybe it wasn't caught. Or was it?
That's a catch.
It is a catch. There's some miscommunication, but it was a catch.
When that pass was thrown and when I saw the Buccaneer defender diving in for what was ultimately the tackle, I had flashes of a pick six. I don't know if anybody else did, but that could have been much worse for Fitchburg State.
Would have been a nightmare for the Falcons in delirium back in Buzzards Bay. And on the far sideline, Falcons just going to go with the run on second down. Get a few yards on it, but now brings up third down. I guess you want to keep the clock running to lower as much time as they'll have.
I think that's what the Falcons are content to do, especially after the loss on first down. They're just going to hand it off, maybe do a very, very safe little quick pass. But I think Fitchburg State is going to be more than happy to just keep this clock moving and then hand the ball back to Mass Maritime with less than 4.5 minutes to play.
They'll do the delayed handoff, a cut up the middle, and wrapping his arms around his ankle, just trying to make that tackle, was one of the Buccaneers, 98.
It's Colin Casey, the tackler for Mass Maritime.
A big tackle for Casey.
Did a really good job there. We'll get another look at it here. Now, this is the same play that got the big gain on the Falcons last drive. This time, Casey was able to maintain discipline, hold his lane, and bring down Garvin at the line of scrimmage. And now Fitchburg State will kick it away, and they have been a little suspect, especially on the snapping game thus far today.
Play clock's running down. Rosario wasn't on the field. He gets into position now. They will snap it with 2 on the play clock. And they're trying to angle this one towards the sideline. It looks like it takes a bounce forward, but not until it goes out of bounds. Trying to do the coffin corner. Probably had a decent shot at it, but it just goes a little too far to the right. It goes out of bounds before it can make that hop. And so the ball will be placed at the 22-yard line, the same spot that Mass Maritime started their last drive. And they will have, as you can see, 4 minutes and 23 seconds to work with.
All in all, Dan, I've got to say I'm very impressed with the job Bubba Lynch has done on kickoffs and punts today for the Falcons. Pressed into emergency duty, didn't get his absolute best kick there, but he has done an admirable job today.
Doing what he can. On first down, Tien under pressure, rolling to his left. He's trying to run for the sideline, at least stop the clock. And he will run out of bounds there. Once again, sending the chain crew running for their lives.
You wouldn't know what that's like, would you?
The funny part was the one time I got run over, I wasn't even holding any of those things. I was the one spare guy not holding anything but a clipboard to keep track of the penalties.
Oh, so you had a wooden shield to protect yourself.
Didn't do me any good.
No?
Second down and 10. The clock continued to run because we weren't under to that point where that stops the clock. And another near interception. It was Keambu Jones again.
Keambu Jones had a shot at his second pick, and this one would have sealed the deal.
It brings up all those drama. It's like, as the ball comes to you, put your hands up, you try to close your hands on the ball, you can't even anticipate it. And it just gets a lot of pressure there.
Fitchburg State's defense has had so many chances to put this game away.
Play action, throw over the middle, incomplete.
They had another one there and they couldn't capitalize on it.
The ball not located well enough for Paul Sansis.
This time it's Richard Austin Jr., number 40 for Fitchburg State, who had a shot at it. Falcons have had at least 2 interceptions go off defenders' fingertips. Mass Maritime has converted 3 fourth downs, either by hook or by crook, just in this quarter alone, and they have to convert another one here.
It's again Sheehan into Carteret in the backfield. The 2 receivers, they look that's tipped up in the air. It is caught, but it's not going to be nearly enough for a first down. The Falcons will have it back as they hold this time on 4th down, and there are no flags.
Falcon defense finally gets the stop they need, and now they hand the ball over to the offense. And really, it's just a case of get a first down, keep the clock moving, do not let the Buccaneers get the ball back unless you've scored, in which case they can do whatever they want.
Don't get too fancy. So first down for the Falcons at the Buccaneer 29. 3:35 to go in the 4th. The Falcons lead 28-20. 2 running backs in the backfield in Sterling Garvin and Jaquay Solomon. They'll give off to Garvin. Garvin bursts through the line. And he's down just past the 20-yard line. He gets enough for a first down just like that.
Crowd here at Elliott Field can feel the Falcons knocking on the door of their first win of the season. The offense wants it just as badly. They know it's on them right now.
The Falcons entering this game on their worst losing streak in 22 years. Trying to snap it, get their first win for their head coach, Jim McGuire. Ticking down to 3 minutes to go in regulation time. The Falcons up by 8. Again, the wishbone offense. And it's going to be Solomon running up the middle. The important thing is protecting the football. He does just that. Gains not very much, but that's not what matters. What matters is that the clock keeps running.
And you can see it up there. Play clock at 32-31 now. Falcons don't have to snap this ball until 2:01 left to play in the 4th quarter. They're at a point where one more first down and they can just kneel out the rest of this game.
And with no timeouts for Mass Maritime, they must acquiesce.
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 It's okay.
I mispronounce a word every week. Do you know that?
No comment.
On second down. A handoff to Garvin. Trying to cut up the middle. 3 more yards gained. The clock will keep running.
And now for the Buccaneers, you've got to realize even if they don't, even if they stop the Falcons on 3rd and then 4th down, they're not getting this ball back with more than 30 seconds on the clock, if that.
They're going to have very little to work with. And if the Falcons can get a first down, that will end the game. Ball at the 15-yard line. Empty backfield. And Brown will run it with himself, try to go for the win by trying to get the first down. He will do just that, and he has a touchdown.
Brandon Brown with the icing on the cake of his first win as the Falcons quarterback takes it in himself for the 2nd time today.
As we said, he seems to do the best at running the ball when he calls his own number.
When the Falcons went empty backfield, I think every person here at Elliott Field knew that Brandon Brown was going to keep it himself.
Because for some reason, when it is empty backfield, that's the thing you do. You run the football because nobody thinks you're going to do that. He ran for 22 yards the last time he did that, didn't he?
And now the Falcons are going to go for 2 because they still don't have an extra point unit today.
See if they can go 3 for 5 on the 2-point conversions. They'll go with a quick pass in there. It is indeed caught. Kevin Quinn with the 2. 36-20 Falcons with 71 seconds left.
We're going to take another look at the touchdown run here. Brandon Brown just takes it himself and makes something happen. Ducks out of a tackle there. He gets 1 block. Right there, he's got the first down, and he's able to cut it upfield and put the icing on the cake with the touchdown. Really, Dan, this Falcon offense, it hasn't all come at will. It hasn't all been easy, but just look at the scoreboard. 36 points for Fitchburg State. This has been their best performance of the season, and it will be rewarded with their first victory of the season.
By far and then some. Brandon Brown 15 for 19 through the air, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on the ground, he's now got 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. He's ran for over 60 yards today. And this one, an actual squib kick out of Bubba Lynch. Returned to about the 45-yard line by Maritime, and pushing and shoving afterwards. Angry words being exchanged.
Fitchburg State had not scored more than 16 points in a game this season. Today they have more than doubled it. 36 points for the once beleaguered Falcon offense. Brandon Brown having the best game of his young Falcons career.
It's been quite dramatic. It's been quite dramatic, I should say. Now we'll see what Maritime can do, if anything. A long throw downfield, that never had a chance.
I think they were trying to find Sheehan on the wheel route coming out of the backfield, but the pass by Teahan was greatly overthrown. Real quick, folks, we want to remind you our next telecast will be this Friday, October the 5th, as my alma mater, Marlboro High School, comes to historic Crocker Field to mop the floor with the Red Raiders.
Oh boy. Throw to the left side, that's nothing. Sheehan badly underthrown again now.
What, should I not turn on my wrestling heel persona right now? Should I not wear my Panther paw tie? Is that not a thing I should do?
Oh, we all know you're going to do it anyway.
I just well might. Our next Falcon telecast, again, is also a Friday game, Friday Night Football from Elliott Field, October the 12th. The Falcons will be taking on Westfield State. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. And we get some whistles and flags to kill this play. We are not back here on a Saturday until October the 27th as the Falcons take on WestCon. We also have a Raiders game against Groton Dunstable on October the 19th. And start looking ahead. Plan your calendars. Thanksgiving looms. Fitchburg versus Leominster, November the 22nd. 10 o'clock kickoff at Doyle Field.
That'll be a fun one. For Mass Maritime, their next contest is going to be a week from today. They will host Westfield State, who we'll be seeing, as we mentioned, in 13 days' time. The Falcons will be on the road next week, and they'll be taking on the team picked to win the conference, Framingham State. We'll see if this gives them any momentum going into that one. Throw to the left side, that's incomplete. Javon White breaking it up for the green and gold, again looking for Sansis. He's been targeted so many times today. He only has 5 catches, though.
Boy, Dan, the Buccaneers are really... This is like a basketball game with how long this last minute of action is taking, isn't it?
They've been trying to hit these passes, but boy, that's going to be the question for Mass Maritime. They go to John Tien, and after, we don't know why Ty Ebdon left the game, but they go to Tien, and it just has not worked out. Under pressure, he's going to be wrapped up, probably gets a yard out of it, all's told. That's going to be the last play for Mass Maritime today. The Falcons will get the ball back, and they will take the victory formation.
And that has got to be, those are 2 words that sound very good to this beleaguered Falcons team coming into this game 0-4, losers of their last 9 games going back to last season. They will come out in victory formation.
Their longest losing streak in 22 years, it will be snapped today. The Falcons just need 1 kneel down. Not a lot to ask for here. And they will take that kneel down. And as the clock will run down, that will put an end to this contest. They won't need to snap it again with 30 seconds left.
Fitchburg State picking up their first win of the season, their first win for their new head coach, their first win for their new starting quarterback. It's the first win of a new era here in Falcon football. Obviously still plenty of work to do and plenty of challenges on the horizon, but Fitchburg State looked like a very good football team today, Dan.
There were a lot of challenges in the 4th quarter. There were a lot of things they could have done better, but that 3rd quarter was as good as you could have asked for. And the Falcons come away with the big one, a 36-20 win, and they're 1 step closer to avoiding the wooden spoon this year.
Baby steps. This year, don't get the wooden spoon. And beating Mass Maritime is a very strong step in that direction. But some of the things you've seen out of the Falcons today, it makes you feel like this is a program that's building something. This is a team that in a season or 2 or 3 is going to be a team to be reckoned with in the MASCAC.
Absolutely. It is a bit of a rebuilding season. The Falcons go to 1-4 on the campaign. The Buccaneers fall to 1-3. But at the end of the day, the point is the Falcons are building towards next season. And they're going to try to do the best they can this season, but they're just building, working on it. And in due time, they could be a force to be reckoned with. They could be the next Framingham.
And you mentioned Framingham, Dan.
So the Falcons, as we say, they win it 36-20. They'll take on Framingham next week. I mean, we say, to beat the best, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And the Falcons, they're not going to top the conference this year, but they're going to have a chance to put a statement on next week. As you see the credits rolling at the bottom of your screen, all the wonderful crew that has helped us here today on FATV.
And we certainly do want to thank them. You saw the names, but we're going to give them credit one more time. Our director, John Dextrace, Travis Falk, doing everything as usual. Amanda Agassi down on the sidelines for us. Matt Carroll, Charlie Ollis, Jonah Giannis, Chris Fondakowski, Evan Burns, Matt Murdoka, Katie Nobauer, all of them, thank you so much for the work that you do. And we also, of course, want to thank our underwriters, Vector 5, Hub International, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Fitchburg State University, KCMC Management, Rollstone Bank and Trust, Workers Credit Union, Unitil, Enterprise Bank, Minuteman Press, and Health Alliance. We thank them for the underwriting work they do. And if you or your company are interested in being an underwriter, FATV.org, come see us on Kimball Street. We are always looking for that. We thank you so much for being with us. And Dan, just final thoughts for the Falcons as they get their first win of the season.
Maybe not been the most complete 60 minutes, but when they needed to step up, they did. And they came up with a lot of great plays today to help put this one away. A strong performance, all's told, and the Falcons get that first win.
A well-deserved first win it was. Again, one last time, our next telecast is going to be this coming Friday, October the 5th, against the Panthers of Marlboro High, Fitchburg High School football from historic Crocker Field. That is a 7 o'clock kickoff. But for now, for Dan Bolak and Amanda Agassi and the entire FATV crew, I am John Gugri saying thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on FATV.